Welcome to the Flip Side, episode 28, Tim. 28.
Only took me 26
I,
episodes past what I was supposed to be here on.
I wanted you to be guest number two. And you were like, yeah, I'll come eventually. And here you are, 26 episodes later.
Better
the
late than never,
perfect,
though, right?
the perfect time for you to be on, I would say. I've got my friend Tim over the years. Welcome to the Flip Side, man. How you been?
You know what's crazy is I always tell people I'll catch you on the flip side. And
Everybody says
now
that.
I
Yeah.
can tell people I've finally been there.
Yeah. So now you say, hey, catch you the flip side. Like I was there. Like I
Yeah,
know
I
what the
mean
flip side's all about.
it's very outer spacey here.
Yeah.
It's like
Oh, you got the background. I was like, what do you mean? Yeah, it could be anything you want it to be there. Yeah? Like if you're into donuts, it can be very donutty, you
dude,
know. So,
dude.
yeah.
But
See, I got you.
I love donuts.
It can
7-Eleven
be
got the best donuts in the world. Oh man, look at that.
get a little sunset action for you.
That's
You know,
like I'm one with nature.
yeah. I was gonna put a dinosaur back there, but decided it wouldn't be your kind of shtick. He's my backyard. I'll show you my backyard. We'll do that.
No, I would love that. That would be one day.
Wait,
One
you
day
don't
I'm gonna
have
a
wait.
bungalow.
You don't have this in DC? That's not around you?
It doesn't look like that. Trust me.
For those that don't know, I've been to Tim's house. I surprised him one day. It wasn't really a surprise, but it was like, yo, I'm like
How
2 hours.
how far away are you from the Beltway? Basically, the highway. We call it the highway.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know, you know. He was like, all right, I'm gonna be there in like 20 minutes. I was like, all right, cool.
you gotta rank like what are the most weirdest questions Tim ever got? That's gonna be up there. Just out of nowhere. Hey, yo, how far are you from the highway?
But I mean, you mean I'm out here in the trenches.
You are. I was low key scared coming to that house. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, I got a lot of stuff in the back. I gotta lock up.
Yeah.
Man, but you got the best house on the block, though. You have that going for you. You got the best house on the block.
It's nice. We got great neighbors, so that's a plus. And the school's right next to us, so that kind of gives us like a no shooting zone sort of situation. So.
Okay, I thought you were already like planning for kids and stuff. Like kids could just walk there.
No. I don't know if we'll be around here for that sort of.
I thought you were about to make an announcement or something here. I was like, whoa, what's happening?
Look at you with your Ray Dunn mug.
It's dog dad.
Do you know how at one point in time, like that was like one of the craziest like things out there?
Oh, I wasn't around when it was a big thing, but I've heard that you could those things were selling like for 30, 40 bucks and it would sell next day. That's what I heard.
It was insane. People they would have like they didn't have like Discords back then, but they would have like little groups and like Facebook like groups and like they would all let each other know the one is coming in. There's a new order coming in at this Home Goods or this Marshalls. At
Oh,
this
really?
time.
It was like that.
It was madness, and like people would be like 100 people would show up when the truck shows up, and they would just all like go crazy.
Dang.
And I mean, it was a huge thing. But I mean, if you find some of the older the old like Ray Dunn, there's some pieces that are still worth good money, and then some of the other ones that are just kind of like harder to find will be worth a little bit more money.
Look at you already teaching 3 minutes in. You're already dropping knowledge, man. Who did I have recently that didn't drop anything almost the whole time? I want to call anybody out. Probably Dan the man. Dude, he was on for 2 hours.
Dan. Shout out to Dan. Dan's whatnot the other day was absolutely bananas.
Right?
I've always been a big fan of Dan, right? And I just enjoy his vibe. Like it's just him, you know what I'm saying? But like
his energy. His energy.
Like he's funny, like he's not even trying to be funny.
Exactly.
But I know that he knows that he's funny, right?
Yeah.
And so when the way he was just so like, if you want to know how to do a whatnot show, like that might be like one of the things you should watch, because he was just, the energy was off the charts. It was so cool. Like I was like, literally, you know how people put like LOL. But you know, like you be in the same room with somebody, and then and you see him in a group chat, and they put LOL, and I'd be like, I didn't hear no laughs.
Yeah, there was no
Like
laughing out loud at all.
this
Yeah.
was a legitimate laugh out loud. Like I was dying. I was dying. So shout out to Dan, man. Love you, bro.
Yeah, I checked it out afterwards. I'm like, oh, I thought some people you can save your shows and watch them afterwards. His wasn't saved, unfortunately, because there were so many clippable moments from that. Like you could have, yeah.
No. What do you mean it wasn't saved?
He doesn't save his shows.
Oh,
There's
Dan,
no like,
Dan.
yeah, Dan. I know you're watching. Dan's always watching. So Dan, you better start saving those shows. I think he's live right now, actually. I'm pretty sure he's live right now on whatnot. He's selling some Blu-rays for $2. I think that's what he does. So I guess that's a good place to start with you. First of all, I guess people that don't know who you are. In a nutshell, tell them. I'm afraid to ask this, but who is Over the Years?
I don't think I even know at this point.
It was a scary question for me to start off with.
I want to try and get this, without taking up 30 minutes. So
I remember, I remember when I had you on my live that one time for like it was an hour conversation, and it was you talking for about 58 of those minutes. I was like, oh, okay.
So my name is Tim. I am Over the Years. I'm a full-time reseller and recently out of retirement, full-time YouTuber as well. So you guys can find me on the YouTube. I live in DC. I'm 39 years old. I'm married. I got a dog. I've been doing full-time reselling since 2020, like the beginning of 2020.
Yeah.
And I sell on every single platform. So eBay, Etsy, Mercari, Poshmark, Depop, Grailed, and whatnot. That's
not every platform.
That's every platform. Nobody
you didn't
really
say
cares.
Kitizen.
Yeah, well, Kitizen is like a niche platform. I mean, I guess you could say Grailed is. No, Grailed, Kitizen's way more niche than everything
I didn't hear Vinted.
Say the what?
Isn't that a thing now? Vinted? Is that,
no,
I make
no
that
idea.
up?
And I don't sell on Bonanza. I tried Bonanza many years ago, and I hated it. It was awful. It wouldn't. Yeah. It didn't
sell and buy clothes, shoes, and accessories. Vinted.com.
No,
I don't see you on there.
And I also don't do Facebook Marketplace for like my listings.
Same. I quit.
I tried to tell everybody. I said this Facebook Marketplace. It was good while it lasted for about 2 weeks, and then it all went downhill.
There were times 2 years ago. I think that was the heyday of Facebook, where Facebook was outperforming eBay for me.
Yeah,
and I was like, "Whoa, this could be something." And then what I've learned is they care more about ads than actually selling things.
Yeah.
Like I searched for video games today on Facebook, and the second listing took me to a Poshmark store.
Yeah, and another thing is like there's zero customer service. It's literally the Wild West.
It is the Wild West.
They like froze my money for some reason, which was unbeknownst to me or anybody else. So like I just got out of that quick. But yeah, so I sell on all those platforms. Yeah. I actually specialize in antique, vintage, glass, ceramic, and porcelain. But I am a full-blown all-around reseller. Yes. Like I do sports stuff, I do electronics, I do vintage clothing, hats. I will sell anything and everything, basically. Like nothing. Like I don't really shy away from too much stuff. There's a few things obviously that I don't really, but very, very small amount of stuff that I don't like dive into. So that's pretty much what I'm. I mean, obviously, like I also have like a crazy backstory myself. I've been through the trenches in my life.
That's an easy way to say it, that's for sure.
So
I'm sure we'll probably dive into that today as well.
So there's that, and then So I'm just a very normal. Not normal guy. Okay, I think that's the best way of putting it. But I'm all about like learning and trying to spread the love and the knowledge. Like that for me is like the biggest thing. Like you could see, like I got books back. These are all like just one row.
Oh,
like,
that's not a green screen back there. I thought that was just.
This is just one row of like glass books that I have. So like I'm a sucker.
That's
for
not Dr. Seuss. I thought you had Dr. Seuss behind you. Okay.
This is a great book right here.
Carnival glass, yo. Okay.
Yeah.
So
So
this is how you know all those patterns that I send you pictures of.
yeah, I study,
Oh.
man, it's
Let's see. What's the point of me having a book if I could just text you?
because I can't retain all the knowledge. Like
It's
it's
so much easier for me to just say, "Hey, what's this?"
especially carnival glass. I mean, bro, like there's probably 5,000 patterns, like at
Uh,
least.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So
And that's just carnival glass, right?
that's just carnival glass. Yeah. Listen. That's the one thing that's crazy is like in that realm, like there's so much to learn, and the market fluctuation of everything is pretty interesting. Like when I first got started, people were telling me that glass was dead. So like for me, like that's how I kind of like got lucky because I was like, nah, there's something about there's gonna be this is like I see this popping off. So I was getting people were like literally giving it away at that point. This is like 4 or 5 years ago. And so I was just like, I was buying on, it was like day trading. I was buying low, buying low, buying low,
Hmm.
buying low. And then when I found out about uranium glass and Vaseline glass, I was like, oh, this is gonna be the one because I just to me, there always has to be something when it comes to like antiques and stuff like that. There needs to be a connection between one generation to the next generation in order
Yeah.
for the value of antiques to keep going on. Like with
Okay.
furniture used to be crazy back in the day, and in the 80s and 90s, like furniture was insane. And then the value of like vintage and antique furniture, like that's probably one of the biggest drop offs in all time history. Like it just the market tanked, and a lot of that had to do with the disconnect between generations. You had like
Yeah.
IKEA coming in,
As I
like
was saying, I was gonna say, is that IKEA's fault? That
yeah, I
probably would have
mean,
been my guess
one
too.
thousand percent. Like just
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
the way that furniture was being constructed in at this point in time after the fallout of that genre, it really put it just killed the market. But
Yeah.
now you're starting to see a bit of a comeback. Not so much as like Victorian, Edwardian, and stuff like that. Like real antique furniture. But like the Art Deco stuff, the mid-century modern stuff, like you're starting to
Hmm.
see like that sort of trend pop back up. So it's just interesting. With glass, it's the same thing. Like uranium glass at that point, like I could walk into a room. Like I remember walking into a room in an estate sale, and like I don't do this sort of stuff, never really, right? Because I don't have the capital as a lot of people do, and you know what I'm saying, I don't have the space. So like I walked into this, I was at this estate sale in DC, and it was like in a wine cellar, and the entire wine cellar was full of uranium glass, but they
Dang.
didn't know it was uranium glass, and I was like,
Wait, what
how?
they think it was? Just like
They thought it
depression
was
glass?
depression glass. I was like,
Okay.
how much for everything? She was like, you want to buy everything? I was like, yeah, I want all of the green glass. So they gave me like an insanely good deal. It was like $200 or something like that. So I packed all that up. At one point, at Ma Duke's house, right? Because for those of you that don't know, I used to store everything at Ma Duke's house. At one point in the basement, I had probably like close to 500 pieces of uranium and Vaseline
Dang.
glass, just stockpiling, just waiting for the market. Like people,
Just waiting. Yeah.
man, I was so ahead of the game that when the market started going up, I was making an absolute killing. Like an absolute killing because like I invested
Like,
in it. Like
so
I
you
thought it
know
was gonna
me
be
right now.
big. What is that?
It's a Pokemon card, man. What
But
do you
who
think?
is it? Is it
Charizard.
uranium? That's a first gen Charizard?
That's the Japanese Charizard. Yeah.
How much is that running right now?
If I need to grade it to really know, but if it grades like a 9, that's like a $600 card.
Oh, but like this, they got the Charizard first generation is what? That's like 100,000 in PS10, PSA 10.
Yeah, but those are impossible to get a PSA 10 on. That's why they're so expensive. I would say if you get a really good first gen Charizard, if it's like a 7 or 8, it's like a $5,000 card, $10,000
Yeah.
card. I mean, that's still a lot for a piece of paper.
Oh,
So,
absolutely. Trust me, I know.
yeah.
That's one thing though that I struggled in. I don't know Pokemon. I mean, I know if I saw like a holo, I saw like a Charizard or something like that, like I
Yeah,
would pick it up.
see,
You know what I'm saying? But
well,
like,
that's kind of how I am. Like I figured, because me and you pick together, so I feel like me and you are probably pretty similar. We pick everything up. I feel like you just have more knowledge in certain categories than I do, and I have more knowledge in certain categories than you do. But we're just like, I'm like, if I see like carnival glass and they want 50 cents for it, I'm usually grabbing it. But
Yeah,
like,
'cause
I don't know if I'm grabbing a $10 piece or an $80 piece, but it's 50 cents, whatever, you know.
exactly at
That,
50 cents, it's worth it to just learn, right? Like,
yeah.
so today it's funny because today I was in a thrift store and I was like, I don't usually have time to like go in the thrift store like how I used to and just kind of like attack it, you know. So like today, like I was like, man, I went through the kids section because I've been on this ever
Kids
since I
section.
found out. Yeah, you know, the toy section and all that stuff.
I thought the kids clothes
The
section. Like,
the
what do you?
daycare section, man. Like where I
Daycare
live,
section.
people just come and they bring their kids and they just drop them off in the toy section at the thrift store, and they just leave them there for like
Pick them up
the
8 hours
day.
later.
Pick them up eight
Pick
hours
'em up.
later.
That's the
Dog,
daycare.
if you
That's
go to the thrift store where I live, by the end of the day, it looks like a tornado went through there. There is no, it is absolute. I'm not even exaggerating. Next time I'm in there, I'm gonna take a
Dying,
picture
man.
and I'm gonna send it to you.
The Washington D.C. daycare is the
Because
local
it is
Goodwill.
just everywhere. There's toys everywhere. Like I don't even bother. Like you can't even push your cart through the toy aisle. You have to leave it at the end of the aisle and walk through it because there's kids just sitting on the floor. There's toys everywhere. Like
And you're going through and just grabbing their toys. You're
no,
gonna
that's
take the
thing,
joy
like,
out of their hands.
anything that you thought might have been good is no longer good by that time of the day because it's been pulled out the box. There's pieces all over the place. It's just not even worth it. But like by the kids' toy section, like, they got the wall of all the grab bags. So I've been on this search ever since I found out about Stompers from Old School Picker. I've been like just one of those things. Like now I kind of just go through the toy section a little bit. And I found a bag of My Little Ponies. I seen it from the outside. I was like, "Oh, those are My Little Ponies. They got to be My Little Ponies." And I don't know because I remember vaguely what they look like from when I was younger. These aren't like older. These aren't like first generation like My Little Ponies.
Tim's trying to be mischievous. Tim watches My Little Pony every single day. He just doesn't want to let you guys know.
So I bought the grab
He's actually
bag.
a brony. Is that what they're called? The My Little Pony bros? He's a brony. That's what Tim
No,
is.
is that a real thing?
I think so. Yeah, My Little Brony. I think that's what you are, man.
I'm not gonna lie to you. In the back of my head, I was like, "Damn, I gotta brush this Jones' hair. It's all over the place. It's gonna need. I might have to blow dry this thing.
It's gonna need a little cleaning."
But you know, I worked in the hair industry for like 12 years, so I know how to blow dry. Yeah. So I bought the My
Tim
Little Pony.
spends his Friday nights interviews with me and blow drying My Little Pony here, living a crazy life, man. Living a crazy life.
So I bought them. There was 4 of My Little Ponies inside of the grab bag for $4, and so I'm like, it's $1 a piece, you know, like who knows? Maybe they're like 2002 My Little Ponies, so they're like old. They're not first generation, but I mean they're 20 years old. So I mean I figured the 4 of them I probably can give maybe like $40 for $4 or $40, and like just always trying to like just like step out of the box a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like just you never know. Like there's certain things I wanna learn more about. Plush. There's so much plush at the stores where I live, but like it's so difficult, you know. So like I've tried a couple of times.
I sold the stupidest plush today for $30. It's like
what was it?
A blue cat.
But like, what made you pick it up?
I got it from Whatnot. It had
from Dave.
No, from Flip the World.
Okay.
This thing.
That is creepy looking. Shout out to Paul using the photo room AI
look at that.
Man.
Put in like a nice little blanket, you know, made it look a little snuggy.
Yeah, so make sure you guys go to www.photoroom.com, okay, on your computer and use code RIN and you'll get a discount on your photo room.
You know what's funny? There's one guy right now on Instagram. He's probably watching. Shout out to you. Who was trying to get Photo Room to sponsor me? And I told him I tried already. They did not give me a code. They're only working with RIN. And he's like, they don't know what they're missing. so he's trying to petition beyond on my behalf to get a code as well. I'm
There's
like,
a lot of people out there that are trying. Trust
I
me.
know. Like Dave was trying, and a lot of people are trying to get, but they're only working with RIN.
Yeah. So
So,
like,
so.
it's been amazing. I mean, a big shout out to my brothers, by the way, Leroy, Cernak, and Eric, my guys over at the Reseller Information Network. If you guys aren't hip, make sure you guys follow us over there on YouTube. But yeah, Cernak, I mean, we've always used Photo Room, and Cernak and I kind of started both looking into the AI background around the same time. And I was looking at it because
Wait, so it wasn't Dave's idea? I thought Dave thought of it.
No. We taught Dave. I got the receipts.
I'm just sure.
So
Because I thought Dave thought about Whatnot first too, right? That was Dave's as well.
Dave admitted the other day during your live that I was one of the first people. Listen, also, I gotta ask if I don't know if Harry Tornado is watching or not, but Harry Tornado commented on our video about taking the guy's hat off of his head. I'm like, man, come on, buddy, you're supposed to be on our side.
Well, wait, did he say it wasn't good?
I don't know if he was joking or not. That's what I should ask him.
He's probably joking. It's probably joking.
But yeah, that's the other thing, man. Let me tell you, if there's one thing, like if you need like a self-building exercise, like to like thicken your skin and become like
post a video on TikTok.
Yeah, post a video on TikTok. Dog, they are savages on TikTok.
No, I would like the thing is I can deal with savages, but like the uneducated savages is what I can't deal with. Well, like if there was people that were savages but brought up good points, but these people are just like savages with zero understanding of what the market or what actually reselling is, and like they think because we resell, that's the reason. Like we take money from the poor, which is like nobody's going like I'm like the poor don't care if the shirt's single stitch or not. Yeah. it's not like, and they're like I'm like if the poor want to go and buy H&M Forever 21, it's still $1, $2 at the thrift store. You know what I mean? Like we're not touching that part. But like I'm at the point where I'm tired of just debating with them.
Yeah, so for me, I've found a new approach. I just kill them with kindness. It really irks them. A lot of times too, they'll comment, and I'd say 20% of them will not come back after you reply to their comment. If you do it in the way that I've been doing
you do it. Well,
yeah, like
well, you gotta do it wrong then, because when they come back, you get the view again. You want them to keep coming back.
Maybe,
and then by the time
they come back to read it, but they don't type anything out.
You want them to come back and write you an essay, because by the time they write that essay, the video played like already
5 or 6 times.
Yeah, so you already got more clicks. That's what you want.
So that video is crazy though. Like a lot of people, like just the comment section in that thing was bananas, dude. Like the thing that's funny is like they all say you ripped the old man off, and I'm like, they don't nobody. It feels like some people don't understand what the definition of ripping somebody off is. The definition of ripping somebody off is selling something to them for more money than what it's worth. Not buying something for less money than what it's worth. That's not ripping somebody off.
There's no word for that, so they use rip off. That's
exactly. So but I don't. That's one thing I don't understand. Like, why? I don't know what makes people think that like.
And then
I'm gonna tell somebody, this is worth $100. I'm gonna give you $100, or I'm gonna give you $50. If I give you $50 for the $100 item, by the time I pay my fees and everything like that, and taxes
and your time, exactly.
It's like, damn, man, I'm making like $2. So so like those sort of people in those comments is just like that's another thing though too. Is like it's just I don't know, when you should really look at that from that standpoint. It's like, I would never buy something to double my money. I mean, not on purpose. Like, that's just not, for me, it's not like my business, model.
Well, no, it depends on, like, if I'm buying something for 500, selling for 1,000.
I would never do it.
You wouldn't do it?
Nope.
I would do it in a heartbeat.
I would never do it. Because
Why?
to me, to tie up that $500 is not worth it.
I didn't realize I'm a millionaire, so for me, $500 is nothing.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't have $500 in my bank account right now. so yeah, I mean, even if I wanted to, I probably couldn't. But like that, to me, it's It's like
Now,
you.
what if you knew though that item would sell in a week? You still wouldn't do it?
I mean, we might know. We know based upon what sell through rate.
Sell through rate. Like there's none listed and 20 sold.
I mean, I
Oh,
would.
now
It
you're
would be
thinking about
tough.
it.
It would
See?
be tough for me. Like five,
Yeah.
maybe if like $50 to 100, maybe, but 500
Mhm.
to 1,000, nah, can't do it. Won't do it.
I never done that before. I think my biggest one was it happened in Florida. I dropped 150 on something that sold for 350, but it sold in like in 3 days.
What was
So
it?
Yamaha mixer, like portable mixer thing. It wasn't that big. It was
Did
like
you
yeah,
were
yeah,
you
big.
able to test it beforehand?
It plugged in. that's I don't test those things. I plugged in all those. I clicked every switch. The lights turn on for the switches. So I'm like, okay, I guess it works.
Well,
That
that's
was
that's testing for sure.
yeah. But like I didn't like put mics into him and see what kind of sound was coming out of it. And I just plugged in, make sure that the power worked in every single switch. I got to give some people because this is what I've been really bad at on this podcast. I'm trying to learn, be a little better. Is that I just assume that everybody knows what we're talking about at all times. So the context with your little TikTok story was that you guys saw an old man wearing a Mighty Ducks hat, right?
Yeah.
A wave splash Mighty Ducks hat, and you came back and you offered him
No,
another old hat. Or
no.
you can share the story so
Okay.
people
So
aware. Yeah.
Cernak and I were on our way to a 100-mile yard sale to meet up with Kevin and everybody else, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's this little thrift store in the middle of nowhere, Virginia, and we pass it every time we go there because this is like a trip that we do every year.
Yeah.
Sometimes twice a year. So we go there, and so we were like, all right, let's stop at the thrift store. We stop at the thrift store. As soon as we get out the car, Cernak sees the guy. Excuse
Now,
me.
was
He's
this
an
guy
older.
just like was he just a shopper there, or what was
No,
the guy
he
doing?
like worked there.
Oh, okay.
And so like he was like Cernak saw him and he was like Cernak saw it immediately.
Mhm.
And he just took off right to him. And he asked the guy because like this is something that like we've talked about for years before it became like a popular thing, the off the back or off the head. Like before anybody
Yeah.
was like, that was like even called what it was. Like that's something that we've been doing for a long time, like everything else, we do it and then everybody thinks you're crazy and then next thing you know, everybody else is doing it. That happens to me a lot. So whatnot. But yeah, so then, we just started chatting with the guy and Sarnak asked him, he was like, like, I really like your hat. Like, would you be willing to sell it? And the old man was like, yeah, $20. So we were like, all right, we didn't have no cash on us. No ATM at this thrift store. It's like a trailer thrift store. So we were like, all right, we're going to go. We're going to be right back. There's nothing around. It was like a 5-mile drive to get to a gas station from the thrift store. So we get to the gas station. We pull out money. At that point, we're like, we might as well just pull out money for the trip at this point. You know what I'm saying? So we pull out some money at the ATM and then we go back. And that's when I was like, oh, man, maybe I should film this. Because that's one thing I'm really bad at. And that's why, like, I was, when it's been a long time. I just started making videos again. So it's been like 9 months since I started making videos. I have tons of footage.
You popped 3 out this week, man. You were like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, I'm on the
trying
schedule.
to be like me. You trying to be like me over
schedule.
here.
Yeah, I'm learning. I learn, man. I learn.
Is
I
the
watch and
schedule
learn.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday? That's the
Yeah,
schedule.
that's your schedule, right?
No, well, I have a video every day.
Oh, but you alternate channels, right? For your every day.
I have 7 videos a week. Yeah, on 3 channels, 3 monetized channels. Damn.
What's your third channel?
This one.
Oh, okay. So I was like, let me just film this interaction. The interaction itself was like 10 minutes long. Obviously, I chopped up the video, made it like worth, social media vibes. But the dude was super chill, man. And it was tough to understand what he was saying. But like, yeah, so we gave him $20, and then like we know that it wasn't like he was wearing the hat because he was a Mighty Ducks fan, and it wasn't like he was wearing the hat because it was a splash hat,
Yeah.
He just was wearing the hat because he needed a hat, and he probably got it from the thrift store. So we gave him the $20, and then Cernak was like, man, I gotta give him another hat. And Cernak had a bunch of hats with him because we were going to be doing like a hat video down where we were. Like, I can't remember what we were doing, but yeah, we were doing something. So Cernak had a bunch of hats with him. So he pulled that one out of his personal collection and gave it to the man too. And then like the dude was trying to tell us to meet him somewhere, but like there's that part in that video that you can if you go back and you watch it, he's like 125, 129, and we're like, yeah, for sure. But I have no idea what he was saying. So like, but like the dude was really cool. He was really happy.
Yep.
Like I said, the interaction was like 10 minutes long. It wasn't like there was anything shady about it or nothing like that. Like, and like Cernak hasn't even listed that hat. It's not like it's been listed or sold or anything like that. Like Cernak sometimes.
What is the value of that hat? Do you know?
That's the thing. So, and that's like on the TikTok version of this video, a lot of people are like, "Oh, that's $1,000 hat," and the people who know hats, like there's a lot of like very like important differences between like hats. So like that splash hat, the particular one that we bought is a logo 7 splash hat. Okay, so it's not wool.
Right?
Now the logo athletic version of that wool. New with tags, I think sold for like $1,000.
Oh, okay. Well,
but that one is obviously not new with tags, and it's logo 7, not logo athletic, and it's not wool. So like that one, top end, I'd say probably like $500-$600. Realistically, probably somewhere around like $300 to $500.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was like $100 hat. I didn't think it was that.
No, the Mighty Ducks, like the splash, the Mighty Ducks, like those. So a lot of those are like super hard to come by, and there's none of those listed right now. There's like one that's listed, I think, but it's the logo athletic one. I think it's listed for like $900 right now or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But like, yeah, that's the thing is like the world of hats. Like, there's a lot of. It's interesting because I think that's probably why I'm so drawn into hats, like I am with glass. Because there's so many different intricacies that make a hat, like the difference between a hat being like a $20 hat and $1,000 hat is just kind of like glass too, you know. So like, I guess that's probably why I'm so drawn in.
I see one on Wharf Point for $240 that's sold.
On what?
On Wharf Point.
Which one is it?
The logo 7 one. This one right there. Or
that's so listen. They messed up right here. That's not the logo 7. That's the logo athletic.
Logo 7 on the thing.
Yeah, but look at the side of the hat.
Yeah, so they messed up. Somebody got a steal, you're saying?
Yeah. You see the LA on the back of the side of the hat? That's what makes it the logo athletic.
Right there, right? Yeah, that's
Also, if you guys are interested in Worth Point, I'll send my Worth Point promo code to Paul so you can put that in the description of the video.
Logo 7. Oh, this is new with tags.
Yeah, how much did that sell for?
500.
Yeah.
But like I said, I searched the logo athletic one, and yeah, there is the 1,500, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. Holy moly!
Yeah,
that's crazy. Look at these terrible pictures. Oh, is this? You think it's this photo room, or is it somebody just took it outside?
That's somebody just took it outside.
Lame. Who takes hats outside anymore?
Like that, this is the other thing too. Is like with hats, bro. Like if you do the right sort of, like people are so lazy. Resellers are lazy sometimes. You know that because you're lazy sometimes. You won't even clean your hats.
I sell them for $1 and whatnot.
But like if you take the time to like invest in hats, like the Phlip value on them can be insane sometimes.
Those Florida State ones that I got at remember I sent you pictures of that I got for like $1 or $2. I sold them to Keith actually.
Yeah.
So Keith's gonna flip them and make more money of them, but I was really happy with what I got from him.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, sometimes like you have to do that with stuff, and that's what I'm about to go through right now, man. I'm at this point where I'm kind of like just want to like get rid of everything and just like kind of start fresh again. But
that was the thing with the move. The move helped me so much with that.
And I think when I do that when I get the shed, I think that's kind of like where I'm at right now with that. So
because it's so hard to do it, I think, without something big that's happening, you know, if we just, I don't know, like, you know what, I'm scratching everything and I'm starting to like, it makes no sense if you're just being stable, but if there's something that's happening, like a shed or like even when you were moving out from the storage unit, it gives you an incentive to say, okay, well, let me try something differently. So like I went complete, like in the warehouse, I had no SKUs back in PA. There was no nothing. I just knew where stuff was. Here,
that's how I am too.
Everything's cute now here, so it's completely different.
I wanna try and when I get everything into the shed and the shed's being built and we get in, and that's gonna be something that I'm really gonna take serious. You know what I'm saying? Like
The Philly flipper shed. That's what it's being called,
yeah,
right?
we're waiting for the sponsorship check to come in the mail though. So
we got to talk about the X's and O's. How much?
ah,
What did you just do, man?
I kicked my wire.
You mentioned Philly flipper shed, and Tim just shuts his camera off. Is that screw this? I'm out of here. We ain't doing this. I love the part today in today's video when you just dropped the camera and just left it in.
Like 1000%. Like
that
that's
was so awesome. You're like, man down, man down.
And listen, that's one of the things about like my older videos and like something that I wanted. There's gonna be times obviously where you edit, but like I think it's sometimes the viewers like, and maybe this is just me, but I feel like sometimes people want authenticity. They want organic. Like there's nothing more annoying to me when I watch a video when it's like, hey, it's like 75 cuts. I'm like, bro, like just get it all out. Like just press record. Like I don't need you to be like, hey, welcome to this cut. We're live back now. We're gonna pull some orders. Cut. And I'm just like, dude, like there's just way too many cutting. No wonder why people don't want to do YouTube, because they think that it takes 75 hours to edit a video because the guys are cutting so damn much.
It's legit. Like what I do now for my vlogs is just let it slide. If I said the wrong word, I say it wrong. Legit, people are watching this will know. The only time I cut is if I burp or I fart. Yeah, I want that part off the camera. That's the only time I would do it. But besides that, I leave almost everything in. I could be blabbing for 6 minutes and I have no clue what I was talking about. Like that, it's staying in.
I think that people, because that's the thing is like I want to convey this sort of relatability to people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's why like I think that this second go around is going to be more. It's going to be a mixture of things, but a lot of it's going to be like my journey as a reseller. Because the thing is about reselling is like, you can't just do reselling one way and just that's going to be the way you're going to do it for forever. That's just not how it works. Like there's so many changes.
I think I changed like 5 times in the last like 2 years alone. So it's because if you don't change, what's it called? Adapt or die, right? That's how you got to do it.
I mean, like that's one of the things that like I preach so much is adjust and adapt. Like you have to, and like I did that a lot with Whatnot. And I mean, like it's crazy to me now to look at Whatnot, because when I found out about Whatnot, this is like almost 3 years ago, right? I was watching The Pod, which is a spinoff off the Pat McAfee show.
Yeah.
And they were doing a break of cards on the pod. And I was like, what is going on, right? And they were like, yeah, it's this new app called Whatnot. And so, like, immediately, I went and I was like, yo, I went to the computer, started doing research, and I was like, bruh, this is the wave. 24 hours. Because at that time, I'm already doing live auctions on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, this is the wave. And I started like really digging into it. And I'm like, man, there's like, they got other categories. It's not just cards. And because originally it started out as a Funko Pop app.
Yep.
And then it kind of moved into Pokemon, and then it moved into sports cards. And then at that point, they were like, yo, we got to start finding more categories. So like I saw vintage clothing was coming to this app soon or something like that. So I reached out to Cernok because I know you've seen videos of Cernok's basement before, right?
Yeah.
So
the dude has a death pile of death piles, man.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, like this is what you need in your life right now. So me and Cernok literally sat down on, like, we were like so amped about it. We sat down like on the phone with each other, like applying, like at the same time. And like back then it was like it was like impossible
to get in. Yeah.
So I don't even remember how long it actually took. I think it took Cernok like a month maybe. And so he got approved. And then it took me like 2 months before I got approved. And like Cernok and I were on Whatnot. And I'm literally screaming from the top of the mountain to the world of reselling. You have to find Whatnot. You have to get on Whatnot. If you're not on Whatnot, you are missing out. This is the wave.
Yep.
And people are like, oh, it's just a
It's
fad.
gonna come and go. Yeah, that's what they're
You know,
saying.
like this is just
Some people are still saying that, which is crazy.
crazy. Like I mean, I grew up with my mom watching QVC every day of my life. Like I know, like I saw what the possibility was, and like, you know, people always look at me like it's very difficult and rare for somebody to listen to what I say the first time and be like, that sounds like a great idea. 9 out of 10 times you're like, I don't know, this Tim.
This Dave.
But like, I mean, ask Kevin. Like, I put him onto NFTs and it helped him out tremendously. You know what I'm saying?
He told me. I think he owes you for like the rest of his life.
So like, it's sometimes like for me, like I will try anything and everything, just because like you never know. Like I did Poshmark Live. How many people you know have actually done Poshmark Lives? Like people like us.
No. How was that, by the way?
Well, I was early, so I was like in the early adapted program. So like there was still a lot of stuff they had to work in the back end. The shipping was not. It's not as clean as Whatnot is. Like not as it was the operating.
Have you tried the other one? A drip game or something?
I didn't try any of those other ones. Now there's one that I'm kind of looking into right now, just to kind of get my feet wet. I also applied for Fanatics, but they put me on the wait list for that. But
Drip Game is trying to make me like just them exclusively. They're reaching out and want me to headline the garage sale category for them.
have you see, for me, like a lot of the stuff that I do, I try to do everything from the one side before I do it on the other side.
Yeah.
So like I explore things from the side I'm trying to reach. So like in this case, like I like explored Whatnot as a buyer first and foremost, because it's important when you do things to understand both ends of the operation. So like I did a lot of like research and Whatnot before like I was actually selling on there. So that by the time I was ready to sell, I knew exactly what not to do from watching people. I knew exactly what I was gonna do, like how I was gonna mix things up and stuff like that. And it was very beneficial. In the beginning, Cernak and I were doing vintage clothing, bruh. You could literally schedule a show and be the only person live at that time. Imagine that.
That's crazy. Yeah.
The only person in the category live at that time.
Not happening now.
And so, like, you know, we were crushing it in the beginning, bro. Crushing it. And, you know, obviously, you know, there's a lot of things about Whatnot that probably I would do different. But the one thing about Whatnot is they are constantly evolving. They will listen to what people are saying, and they will try and find a way to like make it a certain way to like accommodate the masses. And I think that that's absolutely brilliant. I think that's something that eBay doesn't have.
24 vintage lives are now happening on the men's vintage fashion.
Yeah,
right now, just
that's
24.
Low.
Yeah, I think Tim was only by himself. Okay,
like
so 8 p.m. is coming, and there's like 20 other shows going to start at 8 p.m.
Yeah. So then think about it. At that point, you're going to have like 60 shows at one time. Yep. But like you would schedule your show and be like, oh, somebody's going to be on at 8. I'm going to schedule mine at 9.
Yeah, and that's just the men's vintage category. That's not. Yeah, that's.
And when I was selling glass on there was like I was in this is before estate sale category, before garage sale category, before vintage category, before any of those categories even existed. It was just and Whatnot or Whatnot other.
Yep.
And I was in there selling glass, and people are like, "What is going on?" And I'm like, this is so like for me it was difficult though, and that's one regret I have is not sticking with selling that category.
Oh yeah,
because I probably I'd been in a really good situation right now. But
you might have a blue check next to your name.
Yeah, but the reason why was because it was at that point it was difficult for me to transition a lot of my viewership from my Whatnot sales on YouTube to from my glass sales on YouTube to transition to Whatnot. It was very difficult at that time. So. But yeah, and then now it's just like everybody and their mother who's a reseller or a YouTuber is on Whatnot, and it's just
last week I spent like $40 on Asian noodles, man. That's what I'm right now. A girl was selling Asian noodles, and I was just kept buying them.
Like think about that. Like just, would you have ever thought of like that being like a thing?
And then I bought some pancake mix from somebody So just, I'm like, what am I doing, man? I
Yeah,
have no self control in that thing.
it's
I
very,
have
very
no self
interesting.
control.
And then people are like, "Oh, well, wait until eBay does it." I'm like, "Yeah,
Yeah,
eBay can't even get people to pay for
yeah.
their stuff when
It's
they
like,
buy
yeah.
it
Can you
automatically."
imagine eBay doing it? Every single auction, you have to wait 4 or 5 days for the people to pay after the item is over.
I mean,
Yeah,
they're doing those eBay live things now, but I
yeah.
mean, it's nothing. It's not whatnot. It's not
No,
even comparable. Like it's just it's not even comparable. Like the infrastructure, the back end operations of everything. It's just
no.
it's not even
It's
close.
and the beauty about the reselling thing though is like, whatnot could not be for everybody. Now, if they wanted to do eBay, they can do eBay.
Absolutely.
If
Like
they just want to do just whatnot by itself, they want to be the middleman, like Chris is doing, Flip the World. All he's doing is just whatnot. You can do that too, or you could be like me and Tim that just do whatnot, do eBay. Everybody has their own journey, man. That's the beautiful part about this whole game.
yeah,
Is
and
that you can succeed any way,
and
left, right, and center.
you can
Yeah.
learn so much from so many people. I think that's the other thing too is I've gotten back into watching content again because I've always been fascinated in learning through other people. And like sometimes like I will watch stuff and like I'm like, damn, like I would have never picked that up. So like
Hmm.
I kind of like I keep like a little log of stuff, and like if I see somebody like pick something up or talk about selling something, I kind of go back and like then I have like my log, and then I'll do a little research on it, try and familiarize myself with it visually outside of just the one item I saw them pick
Yeah.
up. So then that way, like moving forward, I can, if I'm out and about, I'll be like, bam, all right, I got this. You know what I'm saying? I can pick it up now. But it's interesting because like I've changed a lot, and I'm always changing as a person and obviously as a reseller and content creator and all that stuff. And like my views of YouTube and reselling have changed dramatically over the last like
Yeah.
I'd say 6 months or so. You know what I'm
Your
saying?
video kind of proved that, the one that you put out. I was
Yeah, like
like,
I've
yeah, I was
I've
listening to it, and it was like, because I had the same, because I was also on your camp on a bunch of those things
yeah.
that pissed me off, and I also changed on it, like over the last 6 months. I feel like me and you went through similar metamorphosis, as some
One
people would
hundred
say.
percent, and I think, and listen, to me, I don't know if you remember the comment I left on you when you made your post about FlipCon, but like to me, like that post was so real and so honest because a year ago from today, you and I probably would. There it was not a chance in hell either one of us would have thought about,
Yeah,
even talked about
exactly.
going to FlipCon, right?
Hmm.
So like for me, like there, don't take me wrong. Like there still are certain things on YouTube that I don't agree with, and I think that are a little well, I don't know the word I'm looking for.
Egregious.
Egregious. Yeah,
You're welcome.
yeah. There we go. So, like I still think that there are some people that are charging people for information, which I think is wrong in a sense. Like
Hmm.
overcharging, not even just charging, overcharging and charging for information that should be free.
Yeah.
That I am not for, right? But also I think the one thing that I made, and like I'm an honest guy, like if I'm wrong, if I make a mistake, if I like judge somebody the wrong way, like I 1000% will take accountability for that and ownership of that. And I think my problem is I lumped everybody into one category that was doing
Mm.
that sort of method of content
Yeah.
creation. And I didn't, and that was unfair to those people, and for unfair for me to judge them and like and basically be a douchebag about it. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
And what he also said was what I did too is like I could not separate the people on the channel. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? Like when people look at me, they see Philly people. No one sees Paul. People look at you, they see Over the Years. No one sees Tim. And that was the thing. I was like judging the people, not knowing who the people were,
Mm-hmm.
based on something that I even heard somebody say about that person.
Yep.
And I was like, damn, that was so terrible of me.
Yeah. 1000%. So like I think that like there's a big difference between like people charging people for information and providing value that people have the opportunity to contribute to or not. So
Mm-hmm.
like I think that
Yeah,
that's where the
it's really
line
well
is.
said. That's
You,
really well said. Yeah,
so
yeah,
for me that's where the line is, and just so a lot of that too was it wasn't necessarily like it's weird because I don't want to say jealousy, right? Because it wasn't that I was jealous. I think I was more envious. Like I was like, why can't I be? Why am I not like that? You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
I'm real, I'm knowledgeable, I'm honest, I'm nice, I'm all these things. I'm humble, like I'm respectable, like I'm well mannered, and
It's
like
because you're Rodney Dangerfield. That's why.
yeah, Ronnie Dangerfield always, and I love that sometimes. Sometimes I hate it though, but like so
Yeah,
like
no respect.
for me that's kind of where like I was like, and I kind of look back on it, I was like, man, what if I need to take that same energy that I'm putting on that aspect of the universe and take that energy and put it on myself, right? Then I can be better, and maybe I can get to that level, maybe I can't. Like I don't know. Like sometimes it's just weird like that. But for me to kind of like view people a certain way, like that's not who I am as a person. And I allowed the influence of other people, and I allowed the envy of myself to kind of like all just boil up and put
Yeah,
that energy in the wrong place. So like I'm so glad that I've kind of like turned the corner in that aspect of it, and it's not just because it's wild. Like I don't think people realize like how much work goes into like being a YouTube like content creator. Like it is a
it's a
lot of
full time
work.
job. It's a full time job in itself.
Yeah.
Because if you don't take it as a full time job, you won't succeed. It's
No.
just as simple as that. Yeah.
So it's just and it's just that's why I think YouTube and reselling are so much two peas in a pod because it's like if you treat your YouTube like your reselling, if you treat your reselling like your YouTube, like it's you can be successful at both,
Yeah.
but you always got to be adjusting, adapting, changing, you know what I'm saying, trying new things, stuff like that. And then like it's just the drama. Like I don't, that ain't me. Like I got too much to worry about on my plate to be worried about other people's. Like counting other people's pockets. Count like, who cares if a viewer buys something from somebody? That's a good thing. Like that's the other thing
Yeah.
too. I think that I like these people worked their asses off to get to the point where they can make money on YouTube more than what they're making on reselling. Why should we hold that against them? Like they worked for that. Like I remember when I was
Yeah. The big part about it is the envy and jealousy, is what you said. Because
yeah
they're like, nobody is watching my stuff. Nobody's coming buying my stuff. So this guy that's working for it, he must be evil.
yeah
That's the
it's
big part of
the
it.
the axis of evil, the dark side. Like but no, like so it's just I think I've and like sometimes you're just not going to connect with somebody. That's just because I don't connect with you and like your style of reselling or your style of presentation, that's okay. And if people don't connect with what my style
Yeah.
is and who I am, that's okay. Not everybody is gonna like everything. Like that's perfectly fine. And I think that if I feel that way, I don't need to broadcast it to the rest of the world. Okay, I just don't need to watch. Right? That's
Mhm.
it's that simple. I don't
It's
need to
very
broadcast
simple.
it into the rest of the
It's
world.
a very simple adult decision.
Yeah. So it's just, but it's a journey, bro, and
Yes.
it's forever ongoing, and I don't know I sometimes I wake up, I don't know what's gonna happen today, but like I'm trying to change that. I'm trying to get like focus, schedules, sort of stuff like that. Like
Good luck with that.
yeah, I know.
So speaking of that video, the one you just posted on Monday, was that just a one take? You just sat down, hit
Mhm.
record. Did you have bullet points, or you just from just off the dome?
I had bullet points in my head,
I love it.
like
I was like, this man, like, how many people could just go hit record, talk for 40 minutes, and just that's it. That was like I would have to have like a prompter or something. I talk about this next. Don't forget to mention this. You were like, you just sat there for 40 minutes straight, just talked about your life, man. That was
and there
insane.
was a lot of stuff that I was like, damn, I forgot to talk about that. But like I felt like it was. if you notice in the video, there's points where like I kind of like pause a little bit to just make sure like I try and collect my
Yeah.
thoughts and really approach it and think about what I'm gonna say
Yeah.
beforehand.
There was some aspect to like, I don't know how to actually say this.
Yeah,
You said that too. Like,
because that's the thing
yeah,
is like you.
yeah,
If you're doing it, if I'm doing this in one take, I don't want people to take things the wrong way too. Like
yeah.
I want to be very honest and I want to be very, I want to get through to people because it was important for me. It wasn't necessarily like it was a two-way thing because like it was important for me to relay this message because I needed to say it. I needed to get it off of my chest.
Uh-huh.
And then at the same time, like I felt like it was important because I felt like there was people out there that needed to hear that message. You know what I'm saying? And like
You could
going
tell by
through
the comment section that
yeah.
there was tons of people that need to hear that message. So yeah.
And there's a lot of people that go through the same thing. And I think that those comments help me too because knowing that you're not by yourself in a lot of these situations, like not everybody's gonna have the list of shit that I'm going through myself, because my list is quite long,
But you got a big list, man.
There's some people that are like, can relate to 2 of the 6, and stuff like that. And like that's important for those people to know that they're not by themselves. And like that we go through these times. And it's not just reselling. It's the human nature aspect of it too. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't matter if you're a reseller or not, you still might be able to relate to that video and relate it to your other job that you do. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, for me, it just was, and also I felt like I owed it to the people that were watching me, especially the community that I built up from my Monday sales.
Yeah.
Because I kind of ghosted everybody. And it was like,
wait, there was no announcement by you that this is my last sale for like a while. You just stopped. Oh, dang. Okay, dang.
Like it just kind of like I literally
you sound like a bunch of my exes, man. They just stopped replying.
I literally I crashed and burned, man, like 1000%. It just became too much, and then like, and at the time, like that was a large portion of my income.
Yeah.
So like. Financially, it wasn't just like I was taking a hit financially by not doing those sales.
It was like guaranteed money every Monday, right?
And that was the reason why that was the reason why I pushed for as long as I did through all the pain and agony of my own mental, drainage, emotionally, physically, mentally, like just drained because I needed the money to pay for bills. And then that's when I was like, okay, well, I can do whatnot. And it was just like a lot of the money that I used to pay for my portion that I chipped in for our wedding, I made literally through Whatnot.
Yeah.
I would sit on Whatnot for 12-hour days.
You had some long card shows. I remember that.
And I would just grind it out. Yeah. And then I finally got to 1,000. This is obviously a year ago, 1,000 sales. So like then I was like, man, now the money is I'm just printing the money. The money. So like then it's like, okay, I'm doing Whatnot, like, but eventually all good things come to an end, and Whatnot, changed, and I had to step back from Whatnot, concentrate more on eBay, and now, approach Whatnot a different way. Like I've gone through stages on Whatnot of evaluating and then just coming back and then bam, okay, how can I come back with something fresh and different than everybody else? How can I stand out? So. But like I felt so like there were people that reached out to me from those Monday night sales community, like and checked up on me and make sure I was okay. You know what I'm saying? So like I wanted my comeback video to be that. There was like 1000% the first video that I was gonna release was gonna be that video. I've been thinking, like I started the video off by saying, man, this has been a long time coming. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. And I don't know what it was that kind of like made me finally do it. I don't even know. Like, I wish I could tell you what it was, but it just, I was like, man. And there was time in that video where like I was about ready to like cry.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like
I
it was
was
real.
yeah, I was listening to you on the ride home. I was like, I was tearing up at some points. I was like, dang, yo, what is this guy doing to me?
It was
You,
real, you know,
you needed
and
some like emotional piano playing in the background. They would have definitely got me.
so like, but man, it felt good. And you want to know, like, there's always, no matter how big your channel is, no matter how small your channel is, when you press upload and you press publish, no matter what, no matter if you have 100,000 subscribers or you have 10 subscribers, you in the back of your mind, in your gut and everything like that, you're like, what if nobody watches
Watches
this?
it? That's exactly
Right?
that was exactly my thoughts, man. Yeah.
So like you can imagine, like, and in this instance, it was almost like both ends of the spectrum. What if nobody watches this? Right? What if everybody watches this? Now everybody like, but like I've always, if you've watched me at any point in time, you know that I've mentioned a lot of these issues and
Yeah.
scenarios at some point in my YouTube career. So like that whole aspect is like, like I think I'm blessed.
The only one that I didn't know about, maybe because I wasn't following you when you talked about, was the bipolar thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if that was a thing you were
Yeah,
dealing
that's
with.
something that I've
Yeah.
talked about before on multiple occasions, because a lot of, and I mentioned this in that video, a lot of the addiction was self-medicating. You know what I'm saying? So like it wasn't like I had a bad childhood, right? I was fortunate because a lot of times like I look back and like that's why I always try to do charities. I always try to help people and stuff like that. And because anytime you've done something, you're like, that you could send it to me and I'll share it to the world. I'll do everything I possibly can to help, right? Because one thing I learned from my father was that, like no matter how bad things are for you, there's somebody out there that's got it way worse, right?
Yep.
So like that's something I always think about, and it's like, like, but my pops was an alcoholic. You know what I'm saying? My pops went to jail. Like when my pops was sick, there was nobody that was there to help. It was like, and it was just me. Nobody, he had burned all the bridges with everybody else, and he burned the bridge with me multiple times too. You know what I'm saying? But like when it came down to it, like I was basically in the hospital, living in the hospital at Johns Hopkins for like a month. Like that's how I have my beard right now, because I was
Really?
literally, my dad was in the hospital at Johns Hopkins in Baltimore. I was living in Rockville. I was living in Aspen Hill, working in Rockville. So I would literally go. I would go to the hospital. I would spend the night at the hospital. I'd wake up. I'd drive from Baltimore to Rockville to go to work and be there at like 7 in the morning. Then I would work all
How
day
far of a
long,
drive is that?
like 30, 45 minutes.
Oh wow. Okay.
And then I would work all day, and then I would go to my house. I'd take a shower, and then I'd drive back to Baltimore with another 30, 45 minutes to be there at nighttime. So, like, I didn't have time to shave. So, like, my beard started to grow. And so, like, that's kind of like how the beard came about. And then, like, so, like, like, this is at a moment where I'm obviously already sober. It's an extensive amount of time into my sobriety. But, like, when my dad passed away, like I went down another dark spiral. I didn't relapse, but like
Wow.
mentally, I went through like a dark place, and I had everything I had saved up, because when I got sober, I lost everything, bro. I ain't have, like I didn't have nowhere to live. I didn't have no money. Like I was in the streets. Like I was before I got sober. Like I was dealing drugs. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so like I had to change everything. Cold turkey had to stop right then and there.
Sounds like you were Reselling your whole life, huh?
Literally. I mean, Doug, when we used to do a thing we called it the Craigslist hustle back in the day. Like this is when the free section on Craigslist was popping. We would drive around and just go on Craigslist. Free section, we drive around, we pick up a bunch of stuff, furniture, all that stuff. We bring it back to the storage unit, clean it up, take pictures, and then repost it on Craigslist.
Yep.
Like that's how, like I've always been a hustler. I was selling cards when I was 9 years old. Like this is what I do. You know what I'm saying? Like I can sell water to a well. That's what I do. That's what I'm good at. So
That's what
like,
you were born to do.
I had to change all of that, like on a drop of a dime. So like when I got clean, I had to check myself into the hospital. So I checked myself in the hospital and on suicide watch first. And then after that, before I got to the hospital though, I checked myself into a Days Inn hotel. And this is something that you should not never do, is going cold turkey like that, like detoxing like by yourself and not like supervised. I was probably the sickest I've ever been in my entire life. Like detoxing by myself in a hotel room. So like then after like 3 days and a Days Inn, I checked myself into the hospital, and then I was in the hospital for like 3 days, and then after that they connected me to like a crisis center. So then I went to the crisis center, and like at that point in time, because like growing up, my mom had always told me, she's like, you gotta go see she wanted me to go see somebody, to talk to somebody, therapist, psychiatrist, because of all this stuff that I had been through as a kid. And so like when I went to the crisis center, they were basically like, they put you through the program and you get to see the doctors, for free. And I had went to, at that point in time, obviously I was going to AA meetings, like 4 or 5 times a week, and then at that also seeing the doctors. And then that's when they were like, basically told me, they're like, I had known I had some of these issues before, because when I was still drinking and partying, I was at Mardi Gras one year. I was probably 20. No, I was probably like 19, 20 years old.
You were drinking legally?
What's that?
You were drinking illegally?
No. Down in New Orleans, you could drink. They had like this rule called the slide rule. It's like the Napoleonic Code or something like that. 21 to buy, 18 to drink sort of situation. So I was down in New Orleans at Mardi Gras, and they had these drinks down there called hand grenades, right? And you're not supposed to drink more than like
that
two.
sounds very safe.
So I was double fisting for like, I probably had like 6 of them. So like all of a sudden, like I don't remember nothing. I wake up, I'm on the floor, like in the middle of a street, and I have like probably like 20 pounds of beads on my neck, video camera, like an old, like the video camera with like a tape, like video camera, right?
One of the ones that Shaq used at the slam dunk contest. One of those video cameras, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. And so like I wake up and there's like 6 cops standing above me, and I'm like, what's going on? And so like, they sit me up, and like I just see like this gauze like going around my eyes, and I'm like, my head is spinning, bro. And they're telling me to walk to the hospital. And I'm like looking down, I'm like, holy smokes, there is blood everywhere. And they're like telling me to walk to the hospital. And I'm like, well, nobody's going to take me to the hospital. So like to this day, nobody knows what happened to me. Like, I don't know if I got beat up by the cops, if I got hit in the head with a bottle, like what happened?
The video camera wasn't recording?
The camera wasn't recording. And the camera ended up getting stolen in the strip club later. So I get to the hospital, Tulane University Hospital, right? I walk in the front door, and next thing you know, it's like, coos, like I'm on a gurney. And they will not give me any pain meds because I'm so jacked up on drugs and alcohol. So they just like clack, 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 like 7. I think I ended up getting 7 or 9 staples in my head. I got a wicked scar there still. So they take all my belongings from me. Like everything I own is in like a hospital bag with blood all over it. I take my phone, everything. I'm like screaming, and they call my friends, and they kick me out the hospital. They put me in a wheelchair, and they sit me in the front of the hospital. So I'm just sitting in front of the hospital in a wheelchair. My friends come and pick me up. I'm all messed up. And they're like, dude, we got to go. We're going back home. And I'm like, no, I'm staying in New Orleans. They're like, dude, just take this line, right? So I think I'm taking a line of cocaine, but it definitely wasn't cocaine. It was volume. So basically, like, next thing you know, I open my eyes, and I look outside the window, and it's snowing. I'm in Frostburg, Maryland, like 16 hours later. And
knocked you out, right?
Yeah, knocked me out. I don't even remember any of it. From driving from New Orleans all the way to Frostburg University. So I get to Frostburg University, I get back to my mom's house, and I was sick as a dog after that. The head injury was pretty serious. And then, mixed obviously with like coming down from a week of partying and stuff like that. And my mom was like, I was living in New York at the time. She was like, you need to go see a doctor. And so like I went and saw a doctor and a therapist and stuff like that. And they had told me like that at that point in time that I was manic depressive, I had ADHD, temporal lobe, and that I was bipolar. But I at that point in time in my life, I was still using and stuff like that, so I never really thought about it. So then, fast forward to sobriety, I'm seeing these doctors and stuff like that, and they were like, "Yeah, you've got some serious, conditions here." And so, like, then like trying to get somebody on who's going through mental health problems and diagnosis, who's also an addict, trying to find a drug for them that doesn't fuel their addiction also is
Mm.
like so
Yeah,
difficult.
yeah,
Yeah.
can
So
imagine.
like, it's not like we can be like, okay, here's some Zoloft and some Valium and some Xanax. Yeah, take all this for your anxiety and stuff like that.
Hop back on the wagon.
Yeah. So I mean, I was doing all types of different drugs. There were like trials, test runs, and stuff like that. And like some of them like would like, like I got like fat for a little while, and then like you just all the. I remember taking one. It was like, bro, all I want to do is eat. All the drugs. All I want to do is eat. Why am I so hungry? I just ate a whole pizza and I'm still hungry. So like the doctor's like, all right, this is not gonna work for you. We're gonna try this one. So then they gave me another one, and then I was like, I was walking through my day. I was like this, like a zombie, like comatose. So like it took like 3 or 4 different drugs before I finally found one that like provided a good balance. So I was on medication for a long time, but after a couple of years of sobriety, like it still I didn't feel like myself. So I stopped taking the medicines for the bipolar and the ADD and HD, and then the anxiety and the depression, because it was just I was taking like 8 pills a day,
Yeah.
like it was killing me like on the inside. So I kind of just like got off of all of that and started doing a lot of looking at like different methods. Like I got really heavy into like self wellness and like that sort of stuff, like meditation, like a
Hmm.
lot of those sort of things. And over time, like it got better, obviously. And like, but one of the biggest things was keeping myself busy. Like I always
Yeah.
had to be doing something.
Hmm.
I got really crazy into golf. Like I was golfing like 4 times a week, and like that was like that was a huge help for me. Was golfing, because it's such a mental sport that like focusing and like there's so many different small things that go into a swing. So
Yeah.
it's like it really helped me like focus on details. It gave me something to like be addicted to. It helped me with my anger and my depression. Like just it was just it's a very interesting concept of golf and
It helped you
skateboarding.
if your if with your anger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
controlling
You,
your anger, because you know how
you,
easy it is to get angry when you're golfing.
that's what I'm saying. It's
Yeah, so
very easy to get
but
angry.
it was something that it's you got to challenge yourself too. You can't just be like, okay, I'm gonna paint, because then when something
I'm
happens,
gonna pay.
like you lose it because
Just gonna become Bob Ross out of nowhere.
you haven't tested yourself. So you have to test yourself. I'm not going to be able to test myself painting. I'm going to get upset because my purple came out magenta.
Yeah.
With golf, it really pushed me.
I could just imagine you just ripping the canvas apart. Oh, this is terrible. This is not what I wanted at all.
Yeah. So like golf, and then I got back into skateboarding. That was a huge help. And then like I started helping my mom, and that's kind of how the reselling thing happened. And then it got balled into it, and next thing you know, like reselling is that's why I think a lot of people are in reselling that have a lot of the things that I have.
ADHD. I think
Yeah.
majority of us have it. Yeah,
Yeah,
for
for
sure.
sure. And then so like, but what I talked about in the video about the bipolar is that's one of the more difficult
Yeah.
aspects to dealing with reselling. It's great when you're on the upswing, because you
Hmm.
think you can take on the world. You think you can do 100 listings and make 5 videos, and you can buy 50 million things. But then on the downswings of the bipolar, like you
You
don't
want to
want
get
to
out
get
of
out of
bed.
bed.
Yeah. No.
And like, what's the worst thing for a reseller is not doing anything in a day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like you
Yeah.
could
When your
imagine.
life depends on algorithms to survive,
Yeah.
you have to
So
feed
for
them.
me, it's just like, and a lot of people are like, oh, well, why don't you, take medicine again? And it's just, I can't. Like it affects me too much, and
Yeah.
it helps. Don't get me wrong. And this is everybody's different. Everybody who has bipolar is going to be different. There's different levels to bipolar. Everybody's swings are different and stuff like that. I mean, a lot of it is inside your head, and so like then when the mental aspect of it starts to kick in, it affects you physically. And then it's just like you're tired. So imagine like going through that with everything else in life. It just it can weigh on you. And if you
For
don't,
sure.
if I think for me, like my problem was is I didn't talk about it enough. Like I didn't talk about like when I was going through this period of burnout, and my depression was really kicking in, and like I felt like I wasn't doing enough and I wasn't where I wanted to be in life success wise and stuff like that. Like, and not addressing it as it was happening can be very bad. And then like
Mm.
so like that's kind of like where everything kind of just came crashing down. And so I think like that video, helped me a lot. And I feel a little bit of I mean, I've been feeling better obviously. Resale Information Network has helped me tremendously. Like that's given me an avenue and a platform to kind of like, still be doing like still have my foot in the game
Yeah.
without like diving in, right?
Yeah.
And then obviously like the brotherhood that I've built, with like Cernock and Leroy and Eric, like those are like my older brothers. You know what I'm saying? Like the four of us are very different but very similar,
Hmm.
obviously. And but like, you see this all the time. People do reselling shows and podcasts and stuff like that, and it's like a thing for a little while. But like we've literally been doing listening and loafing like on Tuesdays for like 3 years now.
Yep.
And it's just like, like I mean, it works so well for all of us. But the biggest thing was is we first started that was like it held me accountable. Like I'm live. I gotta be doing something. Like, you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So like it really pushed me, and like I've become such a better reseller because of it. So but yeah, it's a
Yeah,
journey, man. It's
for
a
sure.
journey.
I'm sure also being there with like just the knowledge that you have, Cernak has, Leroy has, Eric has, and the chat too, just dropping nuggets all the time too. When there's questions, I know, and whenever there's a question being asked, somebody in the chat also like there's just that kind of amount of info in one sitting is
It's
pretty good.
wild because it's like Leroy knows. Dude, being with Leroy when he picks, it's it's so like it's fascinating because it's the same as me, right? Like Leroy's looking at me like I have no what is like Tim is going crazy over there at that table full of glass, and then like
Yep.
I will never forget it. I think it was me, Eric, I think Uncle Steve was with us, and Cernock was at. We were all at this like small sale on the side of the road at 100 mile yard sale, and Leroy like jumps up into the back of this trailer, and it's like this like 5 foot tall like tool chest, and Leroy's just like he's just grabbing stuff like, and he's just me, Eric, and Uncle Steve are like sitting on the side of the trailer. He's just handing stuff to us, and he's like, okay, and we're like just putting it in this pile, and I mean like he's just like, but like that enthusiasm that he has for something,
Yeah.
like tools, like it's just it's so important. Like nobody's asking me to be Leroy in tools, right? But if I can learn enough to where I can now like, because the most important thing is like how you're spending your time, right? So like if you go out to yard sales all day Saturday, right, and you come home with 5 things, right?
Exactly.
Now think about all
You
that
wasted your
time.
day.
Yeah, you think about all that time that you just spent, right? When like and then you start thinking, well, damn, maybe I should just stayed home and listed or something like that, right?
Well, it's another reason why I don't niche down too. Is for that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's like now you can drop me anywhere. Like obviously the one thing is if I see a sea of pink, I'm probably not gonna like stop, right? Like I just like there's certain things that you see like
There's
there's
some things in that CF Pink that are there they can make money on too.
yeah, for
But
sure. But
I will say that I spend way less time at those sales than other ones,
Yeah,
though.
it's
That's for
either
sure.
like those, and then it's like the Amazon pallet threw up in your front yard with a
What?
sprinkle of like home goods and
You don't
TJ
need
Maxx.
Tide Pods and toothpaste, man.
Yeah,
You
no,
can't make
no,
money
like
on that.
I can't. I like some of that stuff, but like I've learned so much, like obviously, like, there's just a lot that there's a lot of things that I just won't pick up that other people will pick up too, though. Like, and it's not that I'm not picking it up because I don't know what it is, but I've gotten very picky. Like, to me, like, I don't, like, I used to buy stuff that was like $5 and then maybe it was worth $20. I don't do that a lot
Yeah,
anymore. I just don't.
I'm the same way. Well, because again, warehouse. I always said that there's PA Paul and Philly Paul, Philly Paul and Florida Paul. Philly Paul would have done that,
Yeah.
but here I don't have a warehouse and I don't have the time.
Yeah. Like
That's just what it is.
if I was living in, I was paying rent and I was renting out a place and I was dating somebody and I had free storage at my mom's house. Yeah. All day I'll pick that up.
Yeah.
But now that you're married and you have a mortgage and you don't have a storage unit anymore, like you really got to be like on top of your P's
Yeah.
and Q's because the cost of living is going up. Like it's just there's a lot of things that you really have to take into consideration. And then so like I focus a lot more on like burn and turn. And like that's something I remember one of the first people I heard like really talk about that was damn, I'm gonna forget his name, from the UK.
And no
Zahir?
respect.
Zahir?
Zahir Malik, right?
Dude, my guy. Shout out to him because I need to go hang out with him live sometime soon. But like I remember him saying that like a long time ago. He was like, man, I gotta, because sometimes people we get attached to like a price and we get attached to an item and like we're just like, this is what I need to get for this, right?
Yeah.
But like the turn and burn is so valuable because it's like if I buy something, if I spend $2 on something and I got it listed for 40, it's been in my store for 2 months and somebody offers me $30, I'd be an idiot not to take it, right? Take that $30, get it out, use that $30 on something else that you can make a higher profit on that will sell faster.
Exactly.
That's what the goal is. So it's like
that's my goal now.
now I'm just like, okay, I got a lot of stuff that I just need to get rid of as I'm making this transition to the shed, so that that's why we talked about earlier about how I kind of just want to. I just want to, scratch everything. Like if I could just, but the thing, the problem is I can't sell it all at once because it would take me a month to pack it all.
That's true.
That's the problem. So now I'm just kind of trying to figure out how I'm gonna, how I'm gonna operate this like fire sale basically. Because there's a lot of stuff. There's two that's it's crazy. Like sometimes like I look back at some of the things I picked up and I'm just like, man, like I didn't know as much as I know now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, and the thing is, you can be looking back at yourself a year from now with the same thing. You'll be like, oh man, that's how it works. Speaking of the Turner burn, I just did this last week. I bought a Wilson A200 baseball glove. They're like $150 to $200 gloves for $2.50. I listed for 200, no bites, no nothing. 2 months later, I got an offer for 100. I took it.
Yeah.
Other people were like, that's a low ball offer. Other people were like, look at this guy low balling me. I'm like, I paid $2. I sold it for 100. It's the end of the season right now, right? There's no baseball's about to end. I could maybe wait till March and maybe get a little more for it. I'm happy with the profit. Or there people like somebody, because I posted about this and somebody was like, you are destroying the future marketplace by taking those offers. That's the comment I got. They're like, now you ruined the marketplace. Now people will be listing it for less because of you took that offer. And I'm like, I'm not really. People know what they have. They'll list it for whatever, and they will sell it eventually for that price.
Listen, one sold, it's not a market. It's not going to affect the entire market.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and plus the other thing about this, you took an offer. So a lot of people aren't going to see what that offer is in the market. You know what I'm saying? Buyers Buyers aren't going to see that market.
Yeah.
If you're a seller, maybe, but most buyers aren't using Terapeak or Worth Point or you know what I'm saying, 130 point, anything like that.
Yeah.
Like it's markets like cards, like those. There's people that crash markets in cards for sure,
Yeah.
and it's I got a Justin Herbert I haven't been able to sell. It's been driving me crazy, bro.
Well, all it takes is just a good game from him, right?
But the
He
problem
he,
is
he
he's
throws
in his
for five.
he's in his college uniform.
Oh, then so
People
that's
don't
why.
like people don't
Yeah,
like him like rookie cards that are in college uniform as much as they like that they're in their pro uniform. But it's 5 of 5
but it's
auto
wasn't he
rookie
wasn't
card.
wasn't he a duck too? He was a duck, right?
Oregon, yeah.
People like those. The people like Oregon uniforms. I mean,
Yeah,
the only.
so I'm trying to move
You,
that.
you
That's
said
one
it's
of
a
the things.
one. It was a number to 5. You said.
Yeah,
Yeah.
out of 5. Rookie card auto, PSA 9.
Oh,
Pop
it's
one.
already graded too.
Yeah.
Dang. What do you have listed for?
I had it listed for like 1,000, and then I had it listed for like 800, and then I put it up for auction just to like test, like, because I'm always trying to test different ways with stuff. Sometimes put it up for auction starting at like 500, I think, or 600. No
No
bites.
bids. Wow.
Somebody messaged me. They were like, "What's the lowest you'd take?" And I was like, at this point, I'm like, I'm just gonna wait for the season.
Yeah.
Like you said, hopefully he has a good game and I throw it up. So I've already started moving a bunch of football stuff. I saw the Vikings hat last night during the game. Like that's one of the
Yeah.
things we just talked about on the latest RIN network. RIN video is about like getting those football listings and delisting them and relisting them and
Yep.
adding new pictures using the AI background and all that sort of stuff. So
I'm sure some cards went up in value from yesterday. So,
oh yeah,
like
some went down.
Kadarius Tony cards probably increased in
I
value.
sold a rookie auto of his like 3
Yeah,
days ago.
you mentioned this in our group chat day. You're like, I'm so glad I sold that card. I have not seen a much worse performance from somebody in a while, man. I'm sure your boy Authentic was very happy to see.
Well,
to see it.
authentic is actually pretty. He's pretty reasonable when it comes to stuff like that. Like he doesn't necessarily want to. It's not. It's weird when people celebrate somebody's downfall. Like,
Oh, I celebrate Jalen Rager's downfall all the time, man.
who? Jalen Rager?
Jalen Rager, I celebrate his downfall.
Man, you can't do that. Don't knock the man.
No offense if you're watching, Jalen.
Oh,
that one play against, I think it was against the Bills last year. It was Vikings Bills that was a crazy game, right? Vikings Bills.
Yeah.
And one of those plays, like Jalen just stopped running the route, and Cousins threw, and the defender was just there, and Jalen just stopped, and everybody just went crazy. I'm like, yep, that's Jalen for you, man. That's what we're known for.
He's he's on a practice squad now, I think, somewhere.
Yeah. I sold his car recently. I'm surprised.
Really?
I got like $2 for it. It was a rookie select or something, Jalen Rager card. I'm surprised that sold.
Man, listen, the way Kerry changed my mind on a lot of that stuff too. Like just kind of like the way he operates his cards too. It's interesting.
Well, do you have that scanner or no?
No.
Yeah, I figured if I had that scanner, I probably would be way more willing to do low value stuff.
I also don't do standard envelope shipping. I refuse to do standard envelope shipping.
Oh, so you do even if the card sells for less than $20, or you don't list the cards for less than 20?
No, even if it sells for less than 20.
Wow.
Everything I ship in a bubble mailer.
Dang.
I
sold 3 cards today for standard envelope.
$4.99.
Because Mercari has it too. I've sold some cards on Mercari with standard envelope. Yeah.
They've changed their shipping a little bit lately, Mercari.
Yeah. Well, most of the stuff on Mercari, I do ship your own because like I cross post and you can just do defaults. It's just so much faster for me to do defaults on Mercari and just to ship your own and just add whatever to it. So
I used to do that, but then I stopped because it became cheaper to ship big items on Macari. Like
Wait,
I love
for big items, I still do that.
I
Like
love
I sold.
selling something big on Macari
You gotta see
because
what I sold today on Mercari. That thing was like 50 pounds.
then I don't gotta worry about damn, it's gonna cost me $50 to ship this son of a
Yeah.
gun. Can't
I
do it. Won't
also
do
did
it.
the AI background on these, so you'll be proud of me.
I mean, I see you. I see all your AI backgrounds. You just see you crushing it.
So here's the eBay listing because I took it down from eBay. That's why I sold on
Stop
Mercari.
it.
They're for the quads. That they're a little smaller, but they're I sold two of them on Mercari today for 150. So they sold.
So wait, how big are those things?
They're like quad tires, so they're
I don't know
24
what a
inches long.
quad tire is.
You're like like an ATV is like a 4-wheeler.
Yeah, they drive them around here in the streets
Yeah,
of
so
DC.
those are the tires they put on that. So it's
It's
not
like
for
a
a
Rough
car.
Riders video every
Yeah.
night from my neighborhood.
So they're 24 by 10 by 11. So they're still pretty big. The
24
box
feet?
24 inches.
Okay. By
By 10. So it's
oh,
like
that's
20.
not that bad.
Yeah, it
Those
fit
things look
into
like something you see in like a inspirational football TikTok where like somebody's on the field at like midnight flipping tires.
No, they're not that big. They'll say the box weighed, I think, like 30 pounds while everything was said and done. But I think on Mercari, that shipping was like $17 for that weight. On eBay, I don't know
UPS?
if you saw, yeah, on eBay, I saw was
It's like
$50.
56.
Yeah, so I'm like, there's no way it's selling on eBay. But
So do you do
somebody wants to buy
calculated
it.
shipping or flat rate shipping on eBay?
No, that was flat rate. If I was flat rate,
So you do flat rate for what, 99% of your stuff, right?
100%. Yeah, I don't calculate. For those that had flat rate, I had exclude PO boxes. I had exclude all the things because I wasn't shipping this. I wasn't shipping those priority anyway. So I don't care if somebody has a PO box and wants to buy them. I'm not going to ship them to them. So and then I had $50 flat rate because I did the dimensions. I put it to Cali. How much it was? How it was did? It was $50. So
Yeah.
that's why I did it. I was just covering all costs. But I knew right away. I was like it would take a lot for somebody on eBay to buy these because it's you have to shipping price. But I do $40 flat rate for all my golf bags on eBay, and they sell like hotcakes. People pay $40 to ship a golf bag all day.
What do you do for a single? Do you sell single golf clubs at all?
Yeah, $12.
I have 3. As soon as we wrap up,
Yeah.
I'm gonna take pictures.
Well, I saw you've been killing on them on the thing.
Yeah,
I do
golf clubs.
a $12 flat rate on those.
Okay, I
on
do
every golf club.
15.
Yeah.
So
And
like I take a
I
lot
haven't
of
been
offers.
burned. No, I've been burned once when it sold to Wyoming to like an area with like 50 people in that.
Yeah,
in
because
that city.
they're doing Pony Express in places like that.
Yeah.
So sometimes it costs me more money to ship something to Colorado than it does California because
Yeah.
they're delivering the mail on a horse.
That's pretty much how it happens. Like UPS charged me extra like $12 for the zone or something. They're like anything in this zone, I got $12 extra because what it was. So like that's the only time I ever got burned on a golf club.
Yeah, so I do 15. So I take a lot of offers on golf clubs because I
Yeah.
do make some money on shipping. But for me, it's just a lot. The drivers, I like selling. The things I like selling the most are wedges because
Yeah.
they fit in the smaller box. They fit without like having to like really do a crazy box. So I love
Yeah.
selling wedges, and they generally sell for good money.
Yeah.
But like when you start getting drivers, like drivers are a pain in the butt to pack. I don't
Mhm.
mind shipping irons all day, but like drivers, I can't do
Yeah.
it.
And with the AI background, going back to that,
Oh,
I took all my golf clubs down.
yep,
Add
I
the
did
background.
the exact same thing.
Also, like, because my things in the past, they were like, I mean, they weren't the best pictures, but like once you just add the golf course in the back, you're like, whoa.
Yeah. It's night and day. I mean,
yeah.
hats and shoes, I think, are some of the biggest difference makers too. Because
Oh yeah.
a lot of times, like for me, it's when there's a lot of items that are like either the same or similar that you're selling. Like
Mhm.
the photo makes such a big difference. It makes such a big difference. It's crazy now to me. Also, once again, something that we've been talking about for a long time, and everybody's like, "Oh no, white backgrounds." Now look at it. Everybody using AI backgrounds. You know what I'm saying? It's like I've got a list of receipts of all the things that Tim said that everybody said he was crazy, and now they're doing. But yeah, so it's I picked up a Marucci bat. I'm getting ready to list that tonight too.
Yeah,
Cat 7.
I've been doing that with putting them on baseball. I can't really find the best. I do baseball on those too, but like here's a stupid one. I had this club for like 3 years. It's a stupid club. I should have bought it in the beginning. Callaway Warbird, whatever. So for $21.
Oh yeah.
But before it used to be like this, like whatever. It's not the best picture, but as soon as you just do that, it just pops. I'm like, oh yeah, I want that thing.
It's so much different.
I legit had it for a lot, and I even got it. So when I changed the background, I had the price a little bit too.
Okay,
like,
let me tell you something else too. So you're batching all your photos and for a white background, anyways, right?
Batching them, yeah, on the eBay little cube thing, whatever, you know.
You don't batch them on Photo Room?
I do, but then you click the eBay cube, so it's eBay formatted. You don't do that?
Okay. So I keep everything in square format, anyways.
Yeah.
So I don't need it, but yeah, I do. But now look, are you adding shadows to your white background images?
I'm not. Should I be?
1000%. So look, when you do the batch, right? You can click on one photo in your batch, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of times, what I'll do is I'll either add light and shadow, or just shadow if it doesn't need a little bit of a boost in light. But yeah, if you add the shadow to the white background things, it looks a million times better, and it just gives it a more defined look. So, and it's so simple. And then so once you do it for one and you press back, it'll say, "Do you want to apply to all?" So then click apply to all, and it'll add the shadow effect to all of your white background photos, and it'll look a million times better than just a single white background photo. A million times better. It's like it's a very product photo look when it has the shadow. It's nothing like dramatic, but it's just that you'll notice a difference immediately. You'll be like, "Damn, I should have been doing this for a long time." It kind of makes it look like they're floating a little bit.
Like it's elevating.
Yeah.
But people keep asking like, "Yo, well, like you got good pictures. What is like? Give me a link to your shadow box or whatever." I'm like, I think I'm on this desk with this ring light.
I've never in my entire career as a reseller, I've never used a photo box. I've never bought lights. Nothing. None of that. I have a light here, but that's because I use it for the podcast.
Yeah, it's like I'm like, why? And there are people like, oh man, this shadow box, like I can't do it. I'm like with technology these days, man, it's so much faster just to take them wherever you are, batch photo room, put the thing on, and you got out the door, man. By the time you get the right angle of the glare, the shadow box, whatever that you want.
Dude, I'll tell you, I saw somebody with a killer. I think I might. Well, I'm gonna say this, and we'll see who steals it. But I think I might. I think I might do like a
We'll
mini.
see who steals.
I think I might do like a little mini series, like the 5 best things I saw in reselling this week. Right?
No, someone's definitely still Kevin's video tomorrow.
Because like I feel like there's so many cool like finds or sales or tips that people that I see that I want to share, right, with everybody.
Yeah.
So I saw this dude in the Trash to Cash Facebook group. You know how like have you ever taken a picture of something like a bar mirror or a CD or something like that, and it's always a reflection of you with the phone, right? This dude took like a matte poster board, like foam board mat, and he cut out a little hole just so that he can hold his camera to it to take his phone to it to take the picture.
Wow.
And it completely eliminates the reflection. Like I saw like the picture of, so he did a CD, for example. He took a picture of the CD like how you normally would, and then he took a picture of the CD with like this like matte foam board where he cut a hole out and put his phone in it, and it's night and day. And
you don't see the board at all?
Nope, it's nothing. Night and day. Bro, and because that kills me. I hate that. Hate it. The other thing I hate too is I hate when people take pictures of glass and then do an all white background. It looks so bad, like
Yeah.
especially clear glass because you can't do it. Like just so many different things that come with photographing that's like super like interesting. But like yeah, stuff like that. Like I would have never thought of that. Like I'm always like, man, maybe if I hold my camera like to the right and I put my body to the left and I do like this, but like I saw this dude, I was like, man, people need to know about this, man. Like that's a brilliant idea, dude.
Did you see that's like a thing going on right now of like the funniest like Facebook Marketplace pictures.
Oh my gosh.
They do it. Like this guy's like just hiding in the door.
That is hilarious.
Oh man. It's like it's like a big thing, man. The funniest people maybe disable my ad blocker. No, come on, ruin my week. Ah, shit, man. I hate these because these sites grind my gears, man. I'm gonna keep popping ads up at me. Hilarious pictures of people trying to sell mirrors. There we go. Oh my man got the
Look,
iPad out, man.
that's that move that you try to do. You try to do it like the side move. It's oh my
The
god.
girl's hiding in the shower here. She's trying to have me on the curtain. Oh,
Oh,
that man just didn't care.
the struggle is real. That doesn't even look like a real arm.
Behind the door. That's the classic one.
That is so funny.
Yeah, yes. So you said this guy figured out the way. Huh? He got the hack. Behind the sheet, looks like a ghost.
Oh my god, this is the stuff that I live for. The struggle is real, my friend. The struggle is real.
So that would have made your top five. The hack, the mirror hack.
Yeah, that definitely would have made my top 5.
That's a good idea. You better do it. You better do it now.
Yeah, I know.
Top 5 things you've seen.
Just like a mixture of stuff. Just like because like I think it kind of will shine a light too on the importance of versatility and reselling also.
Or like it just could be like weird things like whoa somebody sold this
there'll
thing
be a
for
lot
like,
of stuff like that
yeah.
too, obviously, because like there'll be things that some people will not understand, and I'll be like, man, this is it. This is the way. This person's on to something. Like there's like like those the new Slim Jim Randy Macho Man Savage display things are going for good money.
Oh really? See, I don't even know. See,
Yeah.
I gotta watch. Gotta watch you taking on what's hip, man.
Yeah,
I gotta figure it
out. But there's always something like I remember when the Dungaroos came back.
Yeah,
I made good money.
I think they're still back.
But no, but you can't flip them like you could when they first came out.
Oh, you used to flip Dunkaroos? You know, Dunkaroo flipper?
I went in 7-Eleven. I bought a whole box of Dungaroos for like $10. Sold them for like $75 online. It sold in less than 24 hours too.
The newest way was that it was this Sprite, like some Kobe lemonade kind of thing that they were selling. Those things were selling like crazy, but every time I went to my Publix Walmart, they were sold out. So somebody in my area probably knew about it. Did you sell any what was that not Tabasco? What's the other one? Sriracha. Did you sell any Sriracha recently?
No.
Is that back to being normal now, or is that the market still crazy?
I see it. There might be some, but I mean it's pretty much back to being normal.
Yeah.
But
I've seen some like little pack itself for like $5. people are going crazy about that stuff.
Dude, I mean, when the Old Bay hot sauce came out, that was like a thing. You know about Old Bay because you was close by.
Yeah, man. I have a lot of my closest friends that I live next to me now are from Baltimore.
Really?
So they're all about the Old Bay, man. Yeah. So yeah.
Bro, Old Bay is it.
They put Old Bay on their ice cream, man.
That's extreme. That's extreme. Let me tell you though, if you make tuna fish, right? Next time you make tuna fish, mayonnaise, a little bit of mustard, Old Bay, and bacon bits.
Oh, okay.
How far are you from Jacksonville?
Far.
Okay.
5 hours far.
I saw this. There's this dude who sells like these things. This is called they're like called soups, but they put them in like styrofoam cups, and like all the famous rappers in Florida, like and people like go there just to eat it. And I came across it on Instagram, and then like I went to his Instagram page and I watched like 500 clips of people trying this guy's stuff. And he goes to like Orlando and Jacksonville, all these different places to like get people to try his thing, and like he's popping now. But it was just like
soup.
What's that?
Oh, he just feeds soup.
He sells it. It's like a food truck sort of thing. Let me see if I can figure out what.
But what does he sell? Soup.
Rich Off Plates with a Z. It's not called soup. It's called Souse. Souse. Which I'm assuming is sort of like it must be like some sort of Cajun style like. So the definition is
like in like a Ziploc bag.
He puts it in all types of different stuff. Yes. Well, that's a different one. He's eating in a bag. You gotta find the one that's like where they're eating it out the cups. There you go.
You guys right here.
Mm-hmm.
That looks like ramen noodle or something, man. Like cup of noodle.
But the dude is popping now. Apparently, it's like it's like crack. And like Matt, like look at that. I mean, he's doing pretty damn good, right? 2.4 million likes.
I don't know so Souse? I don't know what that even means, man.
The definition means soak in or drench with liquid.
Oh.
Liquid, typically salted, used for pickling.
I would eat that. I'm telling you. If you give me that cup, I would eat it. I'll be all over that. Seafood noodle cups.
Oh
he just uses like a cup of noodle container, yeah.
But yeah, like but it just kind of like to like go back to like reselling. Like this dude found a formula, especially with content creation. He found a formula and he was like, man, he's like, I can just get these people who like, and I'll just do the same formula over and over and over again. And now like he's built like a cult following and people come and try it out. But it looks like, it reminds me of like some sort of like gumbo, jambalaya. That's what it looks like. But it's like more soup than it is like filling. I don't know. But man, it looks good and spicy.
Yeah. There's a guy I watch also has the stupidest thing. You shouldn't watch him because it's about alcohol, so you probably wouldn't like it. But this guy that just does the stupidest mixed drinks. That's all he does. It just mixes drinks.
Okay, let me ask you this. I sold a mug on my Whatnot show. It was a milk glass Irish coffee mug, and it was from like the 80s, and it's a drink called the Shoes Boomer. It's hot Dr. Pepper and Bacardi.
Whoa. Okay.
And it's called the Shoes Boomer. The craziest part is Keith said that he sold a machine that was made for heating up Dr. Pepper for that drink. How crazy is that? But I'm sitting there like, who would drink that? Hot Dr. Pepper and Bacardi.
So this is the guy here. Izzy drinks. He also has like crazy views, 600,000, 700,000. This is on YouTube, so he's probably bigger on TikTok and stuff. But
apparently, if you mix the Gold Four Loco with milk, it tastes like. So I saw like animals. I don't know how. Let's pour this shit.
He said it tastes like what?
The animals.
Gold Four Loco.
Four Locos are bad news. They're banned in a lot of places.
They also didn't tell me what Danimal flavor this would even be.
So the whole cup is pretty much just Four Loko.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't think it's like a 50-50 mixture. Milk and liquor.
You put a lot of milk in that thing. He uses the best. That's his thing. He does a different thing. He mixes it all the time.
Don't want to miss any. Cheers, y'all. Danimals.
Ew.
And he does
And
the whole thing
he
all the time.
finishes the whole
Yeah,
thing.
every single time. He finishes the whole thing.
Oh, that is trifling.
Not at all. 2 out of 10. Apparently, so I saw my guy.
Not at all. 2 out of 10.
Pink Whitney and Red Bull.
Say this or
Twisted
whatever.
Tea just. So
But
apparently,
he gets all these like
so
drink sponsors and
I
stuff. Just
try
that's all he does.
Malibu and Mountain Dew. All right,
Yeah.
so I've been getting a lot of
Oh,
requests
oh,
for
it's another
this.
one.
99 bananas and Yoo-hoo. So let's see what it do. Let's pour this shit in.
Oh, I bet you that's not that bad.
Guys,
99
that
bananas. I haven't seen that in 20 years, 30 years. I bet you like 99% of your viewership has no idea what 99 bananas is. That's probably going to be not bad.
You have high hopes for this one? This one's going to be good.
Let's give this a little mix.
I've seen him use a remote
know I
to
gotta
mix.
take
I've seen him
mine.
use the leg of his chair. to mix
Wait, what
things
is
with.
that? What's he taking with it?
I don't know. This is. It actually looks pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
It probably tastes like banana milk, banana chocolate milk.
Ooh, that's fire. That's like a chocolate covered banana. That's just 10 out of
Ah.
10.
Nah, see?
Oh,
You
that
should-
is interesting.
Shout out to Jay for the request.
Hypnotic.
Shout out to your local.
Yeah, we used
There's
to,
one I saw with like
Shout out to
Jägermeister and I think milk or something like that too that he did. So I was like, what? Yeah, but that's what he does. Does one video a day. It's huge. So
It's interesting, man. Like that's the other thing too, man. I'm fascinated by content creation. A, because I really love it, but B, because it's just interesting to see how it like how to maneuver the waters, man.
yeah.
Like, what was your turning point? What made like, what do you think your turning point was to make you successful at YouTube?
Oh man, a lot. I think the biggest one was the channel thing, where I took all my lives, put them on a different channel, and it was also kind of the same thing as you. I was like, because we went to the same rally, and everybody told me, hey, you should be doing this, and it was a big risk for me because back then I was getting no views on my pre-records, and all of my money kind of came from super chats and the lives. So when I said I'm taking that away and putting it into a different channel, people thought I was crazy. But that was probably a big thing. Just that, and then just understanding what my audience watched. I think that's my big thing. I was like, looked at my audience market, saw what they were doing, and just start pumping things for that audience, you know.
But how did you go about doing that? Like figuring that out?
Wait, what my audience is or what they like?
Like what your audience is and what they like?
Wait, the audience is in your analytics. You check your analytics, and it will show you their age, their gender. So, do you know my audience? by
Yeah,
the way?
I know about that. Yeah,
Do you know what my audience is? Do you know what my top market is?
I'd say probably 44 to 55 women.
It's very close. Number one is 55 to 65 women. Number two is 45 to 55 men. So you were in that ballpark. Number three is 65 plus women. So combined 1 and 3, it's 23% of my market is 55 plus women. So, and I was trying to do like all these hard cuts and all these edits and doing that, and it wasn't working because my ladies, bingo ladies, don't want that, you know. So, and I was mainly also trying to focus on the stuff that I was finding originally, and the people that watch me want to watch the interactions, want to watch me talking to the people, want to see me joke around. I've been putting that more and more and more, and that's what I've been doing. So I'm catering things to my market, you know. So that I've once you figure that out and you start pumping content into that, YouTube's gonna pick it up. That's what I've been doing.
So let me ask you this: what do you think what do you think the difference is between like a small channel like me, you know,
You're not a small channel.
I'm a small channel. Let's be realistic. A small channel like me, a larger channel like you, a larger channel like Kevin, and Froggy Flips. Why
What's
does
the
Froggy Flips get 500,000 views every video? What is it that he's done to make everybody that separates his viewership from everybody else?
First of all, it just changed, by the way, my market. So, well, that's last 28 days. Let me do a year. Maybe it'll be the same. Okay, now it's back to you. So the last 28 days, we got a lot more old lady views. So
Older lady. Don't
older
say
ladies.
old lady. You'll
So
lose
like
that viewership really
so
quick.
last 28, 55, 65. Women by itself, it's 15%, and that one's 13%. So 28% now my audience. The last 28 days is 55 plus women.
What is your percentage in your own age bracket?
Right here, 18%. Oh, actually, it's not me. I'm right here. I'm not 35 yet. 12%.
See, that's an interesting, like, I feel like most people's are similar to yours.
Yeah.
But you would think that the younger audience.
I get way more female viewers than most male channels, though. But I think it's also.
What do you think? Why do you think the age
right
gap is not more geared towards younger audience? Like maybe like our age bracket. So you're like what, like 5 years younger than me?
Yeah, I'm 33. So
okay, so
6 years. Yeah.
6 years younger than me.
I think because a lot of people our age are the ones that are on TikTok saying we're scums. That's what I think. I don't think they have figured out that this is a viable source of income, and they think that what we're doing is terrible. So if they do watch, let them watch for a hate than for anything. But the people that are older understand, they've been around the block longer. They probably were doing this in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s.
What do you think your percentage of viewership is of resellers?
For my Flipper channel, my main channel?
Yeah.
I would probably guess less than half.
What do you think the other people are?
People that just want to vicariously shop through me. People that watch Pawn Stars. People that watch Storage Wars. That will never going to buy a storage unit, but they're just intrigued about what's going to happen. Again, that's why I do mainly focus a lot of my attention in my videos on the conversations that I have, the interactions, more than the items itself. Now, I still talk about the items and what is good, but I focus more on the story.
Mm-hmm.
That's why that's what also I think helped me a lot, and that also puts a huge weight off my shoulders that I have to go every single weekend and find that amazing $500 item, because I'm like, I want to have a video. I just go and talk, and usually the story by itself is the title. You know what I mean?
So then back to my original question is, what do you think that difference is between those channels?
What do you mean?
It's like, how does Froggy Flips, get to that number, and Kevin is at this number, you're at this number, and I'm at this number? What do you think it is?
I would love to know what Froggy's secret is. I'm trying so hard to replicate it. I just don't know.
I remember I was there when Froggy Flips was like 800 subscribers, and we were trying to get him to 1,000 subscribers. I was in that live, chilling, kicking it with him, and like,
crazy, right?
Now it's like, I mean, he's got to be generating a lot of money, right? What do you think, like something like that generates?
I think what shocked me, because I wasn't really just following too long, but I saw he passed Josh on subscribers, which is like huge. I was like, somebody passed Harry Tornado, and he did. So I think it's probably close to. Actually, I haven't looked. I'm guessing,
because like I don't watch his content at all, but like I know, because like I see it every once in a while, like, because when I stopped making content, I stopped watching content.
Holy moly, 380,000 subscribers Froggy Flips has.
So that's not as much as I thought it was, actually. Thought it was
you
more
thought
than that.
You thought it was like in the 400 range?
I thought it was like getting close to like 500,000.
Oh no, I don't think I know anybody besides Reezy or Curiosity Inc. or
who's Reezy?
Reezy Resales.
That's the shoe guy.
No, that's Renzi.
Oh, Reezy's the guy who was on Trash to Cash.
Yeah, he was in Trash to Cash. He's the one that had. He had your boy Gary Vee on his show. Gary Vee came on. I was like, that's Reezy.
That podcast, that episode of Trash to Cash was absolutely.
Talk about catering to your audience. Talk about that aspect. Inviting someone like Reezy on. to cater to Kevin's audience. Not the best call.
Oh man.
No offense to Reezy if you're watching it.
Yeah. No offense, but it's just that was a very.
Do you know Curiosity Inc? Do you follow them at all?
I watched them long. I watched
Yeah.
him long. time
That
ago.
one I don't get because like he goes against anything that everybody says we have to do. Like his title, his thumbnails are super busy. All the, like he doesn't care about anything, and he gets major views.
I think his quality of his videos are really good too, though.
Yeah.
And I think he does a good job of what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
That the story.
But I would say, like, if you just like scroll through his like thumbnails, you think that somebody that's just starting up. You know what I mean? Just like
well, see, this is
basic
the thing.
words that like stuff that people say you shouldn't be doing. Like you got.
I've never put an arrow in one of my thumbnails. Is that what's holding me back?
My number. I think both my top 2 videos have arrows in them, so I think you might be missing out.
Because listen,
yes,
that's one thing I told myself I was never gonna do. Is
Like,
put money in my thumbnail or an arrow in my thumbnail.
My 2 viral videos both have arrows in them, so I think you're missing out.
Listen, that's what they're telling me that everybody's doing. I mean, like every single video.
But then there's no arrows for quite a while until this one from 2 months ago.
So you're good. You're not putting an arrow in every video.
No,
right?
Just when I want. So funny. This is the one that took off last December for 421. I did 2 arrows like that, and then I've seen so many people after it took off do the same kind of style of arrows on their thumbnails because they thought that was the new meta. Like YouTube picks up with that, like the yin and yang arrow thing. They're like, this is it. This is how YouTube wants us to do it now.
Yeah, I told myself I'd never put arrows, and I never hold money like in my thumbnails. Do you think that that's gonna hold me back from being a big YouTuber?
My 5th most viewed video has me holding money in it.
See,
I think money. I put money in it when I spend a lot. So like the 5th, my 5th most viewed video, I paid $750 for a bunch of stuff. So like I want to emphasize in that video that hey, I spent a lot more than most people do at a yard sale.
So let me ask you. Let me ask you this then. Do you think that I need to swallow my pride and maybe experiment with that? And do you think that I'm selling out if I put an arrow in my video?
I don't think you're selling out at all. Why? I don't think a little arrow would do anything. But I think you have success doing what you're doing. I feel like the thumbnail that you did for the comeback video was perfect. Yeah. Like that, you don't need unless you start doing how you call it, like garage. You said you have a bunch. I know you have a bunch of garage sales in the tank.
So all right, that'll lead me to my next question. At what point did I feel like I'm interviewing you now?
Yeah, I know. So what happens at the 2-hour mark? Tim takes over the show. So wait, hold on. Let's make this right. All right, okay, now I'm on the Over the Years show.
All right, welcome everybody to the flip side of the flip side. Okay, we have flip sides at the flip side.
We just flip side the flip side.
How long did it take you before you? Because this is one thing that I've always studied when I've been out with Kevin. Right? Is how did you? At what point did you get good at filming with the GoPro on you at garage sales? Because that's always, because I'm so entrenched in the picking that when I go back and look at the footage, I'm like, this looks like crap.
The big part of it was getting the new mount. I don't have it on me, so I would show you the Magnum mount that I use. You saw. I showed you the
I
little
think so, but
thing.
send me a link to that though. Yeah. I want to try and see if that helps.
That made me a lot more comfortable because I don't want to come with a man bra to a garage sale and just have it on.
Because I use mine on my backpack strap. But what I notice is like sometimes I get out the car and I forget to put my backpack on.
Yeah, I forget to put my. You sound like you're Inspector Gadget or something. So that helped a lot. And also it's always there so you can see it and also see if it's blurring out. And then there's a setting on there called Super View, which zooms it out. So how Kevin has it on his cabin, it looks so much bigger. That's how I do. If you look at my videos, it's all in Super View. So that way, if I'm pointing it down a little wrong, in the past I would miss the whole action, but with super view, it catches everything.
Yeah.
So sometimes I have to maybe crop little things here and there, but I'd rather crop than miss.
Exactly.
So that helped me a lot now. And most of the time I didn't crop at all, and nobody can tell it's super view. Like, but so that way, like, so I remember I was speaking with Kayla once, and I was digging through things. And she goes, "Yo, bro, your GoPro's pointing the wrong way." I'm like, "I will still get it." And she was like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, even though even the disc, it still catches the whole thing." So that I think for me, the big issue was like I know I'm a people person. I'm entertaining.
Yeah.
I can be funny, but with that like man bra on me, I felt weird, like coming up and being myself at garage sales. Well, with that magnet strap, I feel more like me. I can just go pretend like it's not on me and just have a regular conversation. Most people don't even know I'm recording them at the time because it just looks like it's part of my clothes. Also, a big thing I do is I usually wear black when I go to garage sales. I have a black t-shirt, and a black camera with nothing else on it, kind of blends in. Some people still see it, but other people don't usually even notice it. So it just what I think would help for you as well is just being yourself, because you're very funny.
Because
very
like all of
entertaining.
that doesn't bother me at all. Like I don't have any worries with that. My problem is I get so entrenched in the actual picking that I forget that I'm recording. So like it doesn't necessarily translate well like on video what I'm doing, because like
it's just
I'm like
20 minutes and
I'm
you
like
digging
looking
through a
at
bin.
this and I'm like, you know, like and then like I'm on my phone and I'm just like trying to, you know, like stuff like that. So like I started working on it on my last trip when I went to go picking with Cernock at the Route 11 yard sale. So like I kind of am trying, because I know I see Kevin do it sometimes where he's like, you know, he's very he does this move.
Kevin's
right
like Steven Spielberg out there, man. He's like,
yeah. So like I'm like trying in my head to be cautious of stuff like that. So it's just, to me, like I think that it's like there's like almost like an untapped market of like the fascination of behind the scenes of content creating, because I think that like everybody is so focused on the content, right? But it'd be interesting to see people like, that's why like when we're all like out together, like I love watching those videos, because you see in the background of people's videos, people making videos, and it's like you kind of get like you're getting both best of both worlds. You're getting like their content and you're getting like what it's like to be out at these garage sales and filming and everything.
And you see we're not just fighting over things the whole time.
Oh,
It's
dude,
actually that's the comment I get the most. Like, why are you going for all these pickers? Would you just want all those things for yourself? I'm like, clearly you have never went picking with your friends and see how much more fun it is than going by yourself.
It's so much more fun. And for me, like it's the because you know, like I'm a sponge, dude. I love to learn. So like for me, like I get to see people out there picking, like, because everybody picks different, technique wise, inventory wise, everything like that. So it's just there's a lot of opportunity to learn different things.
And you also get to see how people approach negotiations too, and how they do like you get to see Leroy right somebody's back while he's trying to get a discount.
Because
you get all these things, man.
I tell you what, I am very bad at negotiating. I love it when Josie's with me because she
does it for you. Okay.
One time I forget where we were, but all of a sudden Josie just broke out into like a southern accent. I was like, where did that come from? But yeah,
she pulled that card out.
It's interesting because sometimes if there's a number out there, like Eric is no problem. Like he doesn't care what it says. He's gonna ask you if you can pay $5 for it. You know, but like for me, like sometimes like if I know I'm so far off from it, I won't even like try.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm the same way.
Like if somebody if I pick something up and I'm like hoping like, you know, like in my mind I know I want to pay $5 for it and they say $40, I can't be like, I can't find it in me to be like, you know, I give you $5.
I'm the same way. So I'm the wrong person to ask when it comes to that.
So, but I've been getting a little bit more ballsy. But in a very like, I feel like if you have a combination of like honesty and and like charm, charisma with like, you know, laughing at the same, like it's like a weird combination to kind of do it. And obviously you always got to read the room. You got to read what type of seller it is and everything like that.
Yeah, that's a
Like
big aspect of it.
I was at the flea market this past weekend and I saw a pair of New Balance. I don't buy a lot of shoes because shoes are always expensive where I live. And like if I've always thought it was been more difficult to sell shoes if they're used. But like I saw this pair of New Balances. I thought they were like old school, but they weren't the original in 1980 New Balances, but they were like a remake that they made, these high top basketball New Balances. You don't see them often at all. And I picked them up and the guy was like, I was like, how much for the shoes? He was like $20. I was like, He was like, well, he was like, I can come down to $10. I was like, listen, man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I can't give you more than $5 for these shoes. And then he looked at me and he was like, 10. And I was like, I appreciate you, man. I really do. But like I said, I gotta do 5. He's like, you know what? I don't want to take them back home. Here, take them for $5. And I was like, cool. You know what I'm saying?
That's kind of what I did with which was, I don't know if it's good to buy yet. I bought 200 laser discs at a flea market on Monday. And it was the same thing. The guy had 500 on him originally. And that was like, well, because like he had like $5 for each originally. That's what he had on him. He had 200 there. Or so then I asked him like how much for everything. He's like, well, there's 200 here, so that's be 1,000. How about half off? We'll do 500. And in my head, I don't want to pay more than $1 a laser disc,
and
right?
you're like, and immediately what I would say would be like, man, that's a good deal. Like I appreciate you trying. It's just unfortunately where I'm at, like I gotta be at like
and also what didn't help me was the thing started at 8. We were there like at 6. This was one of the first people, like first booths I stopped at. We're still with flashlights. It's still dark out. And I'm like, that's good. I'm like, I couldn't give you that. So I was like, I just started walking. He goes, well, I'm walking. He's like, okay, what about 300? I'm already walking away. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I don't want to pay more than $1 each. I can do 200. So much I can do. And he goes, it's the best offer I got all day. I'll take it. I'm like, it's 7 a.m. Of course, the best offer he got all day. And he did it. I was shocked. And then I'm like paying him. I'm like, why the hell did I just spend $200 on laser discs?
But you did that without comping anything.
No, I just heard laser discs could be good. So far, I sold 1 in the last 2 days.
Have you listed them all already?
No, I listed like 20 of them. So
now let me ask you this: when you do something like that, right? Do you go through and comp each one first, or do you comp and list one at a time?
No. I've watched some videos on what things to look for with Laserdisc, like genres, or there's like some DVC or THX on them. I just watched things and I'm picking through all of them and just seeing which ones they have those, and I'm comping those. The rest, I don't think I'm going to list more than like 30 or 40. The rest of them I'm going to go to Whatnot. I'm going to do like a pick your favorite one, do 2 for $5 starts or whatever. And so I made them at $1. If I sell them for $3 each on Whatnot, whatever, it's better for me than do it.
You want to know who the first person was to ever do a winner's choice on Whatnot?
I think it was you guys. I got the idea from
Cernak was the first.
I got the idea from Cernak from his hats. Yeah.
Yo, when he did that, people went crazy. People went crazy. They were like, "Oh, this is brilliant." And now it's like almost like a routine thing on that app.
I brought it to Pokemon cards after I saw him doing it, and I was like, "Yo, Paul's a genius." I'm like, "Yeah, that was my idea. That was all my idea." I still do it now. If I have the same cat, like I did it with Hot Wheels a couple weeks ago.
I remember watching the Hot Wheels.
I did it with Disney pins, I did it with Pokemon cards, I did it with records. It's just the best way to do it because people are outbidding each other, but they're bidding on different things. That's the aspect of it.
It helps because like especially with like say hats, like it's very difficult to sell sports hats because if you don't have more than one person in the live that's a fan of that team. If it's not like a resellable hat,
Yep.
like not necessarily every hat's resellable, but if it's not a shark tooth or a splash or something like that,
Yeah.
then it's like you're gonna lose out on profit because if there's one person in there that's a fan of that team, you're gonna sell. There's nobody else is gonna bid against them. You might have a little bit of competition if it's another reseller in there, but like it with winner's choice with sports hats, I mean, you could crush it like that. You know what I'm saying? Because, like you said, there's two people bidding against each other that aren't bidding on the same thing.
Yeah.
It's a brilliant concept.
I started with records too back in my warehouse, which really worked out for me. Is that I put 9 records up, and it was winner choose 2, and then the other 7 going away. I put 9 up, new ones next time. Because some people are like, oh, okay, whatever. My max is $9. If he doesn't choose mine, they'll be available next turn. I'll bid again. I just did complete wipe. So I'll be 9 to do 2. I take the 7 away, put them to the side, put 9 new ones up. So like I'm like, if you want yours, you gotta bid now because the other ones are going away.
Very smart.
And that kind of also it doesn't help because a lot of times you put the new ones up and people are just bidding on the ones you put up. The other whatever 6 or 7 just never get any looked at. And then I would recycle it eventually again, and that helped out too. But it's saying Whatnot is back to we went all the way. We started with Whatnot, we ended with Whatnot. It's crazy how this thing is. Anyways, usually these shows are only 2 hours, Tim, but you talk a lot.
I
So
know.
it's
Listen,
2:14.
to be perfectly honest with you, you and I got together. We could probably do 4 hours, no question
Easily,
about it.
yeah.
But yeah, I this is a long time coming, and I'm looking forward to part 2 sometime soon.
We're not done yet. But
Okay, what do we have to do?
So clearly you don't watch the podcast. This guy clearly doesn't watch the podcast. I always end them with a little game that we play. Right?
Okay.
And the game is I'm giving you a random category, and you have to rank things from this category without knowing what comes next. So I call it rank 5 blindly. So for example, like if I did breakfast food,
Who
I would
stole
give
this
you
idea?
who stole this idea from me?
Yeah.
Nobody yet,
Okay,
but somebody will probably. But
Also,
so like
before we start the game, when am I gonna get back on a reseller draft, man?
soon.
Okay. All right.
We got the next 2 booked, but the following week's on my channel. So, but it's gonna be weird because it's football season. I'm like, I don't want to be doing a draft with a game going on at the same time. You know what I mean? So I don't know how it's gonna work out.
Okay.
But we might have to switch it to like a Tuesday or something.
All right. Back to the game.
But,
Round 5.
So for example, like if I was giving you like breakfast food, I would say like waffles. And you have to rank waffles on a scale of 1 to 5. 1's the best, 5's the worst. But the thing is, you don't know what comes next. You have to rank it. Okay. So since you're here, and your podcast is called Authentic and the Beard, I'm giving you 5 famous beards, famous bearded gentlemen,
Okay.
and you have to rank them. Okay. So I'll start off with the beard, James Harden. Now again, you're ranking the beard, not the person wearing the beard, but the beard itself. Or would you put James Harden on 1 to 5?
5.
You hate James Harden's beard. Huh?
No,
not
it's a good beard, but it's not number 1.
It's not number 1. Hater, James Harden hater. Okay. Number 2, ZZ Top.
4.
Do you pick? Do you know what they look like? You know, ZZ
Yeah,
Top?
I know who ZZ Top is, man. I'm not that hood. 4. I'm strategizing in my head. This is like a competition for me.
They were like, I thought they're completely different beard. I thought if you hate James Harden, you like ZZ Top's beard. So
no, ZZ Top is 4.
what do you have against ZZ Top's beard? What's wrong with theirs?
It doesn't have a lot of thickness to it.
I think
Very
I'll still
stringy.
do the picture for the people at home because maybe they don't know what ZZ Top is. You are right though about the stringy. It's the stringy aspect of it.
There's not a lot of depth to his beard.
Not a lot of depth there.
It's got good hang time though. See, like, so James Harden's beard is like, it's clean, it's nice and shaped up, it's thick. You know, ZZ
Top.
Top.
James Harden real quick. What it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the mustache to beard transition is incredible.
Did you see his before beard picture?
Oh, I know because I have his card.
Look at this.
Yeah.
he looks like he's 5 years old, man.
But yeah, his transition from stash to beard is very very
Yeah.
clean.
But no respect for James Harden, no respect for ZZ Top. I see. Next, Santa Claus.
2.
Do I have to share with people who Santa is? Do I have to do that?
I mean, Santa Claus is more real than dinosaurs.
Oh gosh, you notice how I didn't bring that up at all?
I know you did. You were like, "There's no way we're gonna get to 2 hours if I bring up dinosaurs."
So what do you like about Santa's beard? Is just the iconic look. People know exactly.
Yeah, it's an iconic look. I mean, the color coordination. He's got a lot of depth. Great transition from mustache to beard. You know, every once in a while he can add a little spin twirl to the beard, the mustache. I mean, there's a lot going for Santa Claus's beard.
Yeah.
He's done wonders with that beard for quite some
Yeah.
time now.
Long time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Santa Pie would have been one for me when I was doing this. Like just like when thinking of the iconic. We should do a draft also when you come back. That should be the categories. Top beards. Interesting. All right. Next one. Abe Lincoln.
Abe Lincoln. So I've already done 5, 4, and 2.
Yeah, you got 1 and 3 available.
All right, we're gonna go 3 with Abe Lincoln.
Oh man. So Abe Lincoln isn't as impressive, but I just think it's iconic too. It's that
Yeah, I
not
would.
everyone can pull off that little undercarriage look.
I probably would have if I would have gotten Abe Lincoln first. He would have been 5.
Oh, you hate Abe Lincoln's beard that much.
I went, but I was only left with 1 and 3, so we had to go 3.
I gotta ask who you're. Also, look at the difference between him with beard and
my
without
gosh,
beard.
yeah.
Look at him.
Oh, look at him with the headphones in.
What there was headphones during his time. All right, so you have the one slot available. I don't think you're gonna like this, but it's Mr. T.
Ah! No, I mean we're gonna go with 1 because if I didn't say 1, he might beat me up.
Well, you have to go with 1. That's the only thing you have left.
So if I could re-rank him,
Yeah, is Santa 1?
Santa's 1.
I almost didn't want to do Mr. T because it's very similar to James Harden. So I was like, I don't know if who would be your now if I didn't give you a list, who would be like your number 1?
I don't know.
Like
It's a
you
good
could
question.
think
I think
of.
I'm gonna have to save that for the draft.
Yeah, I was thinking of like maybe adding Chuck Norris's beard to it, but it's just like a regular.
Have you ever seen like the mustache and beard Olympics?
No, that's the thing. Okay.
Bruh. You ain't seen no beard or no mustache till you seen those guys.
Oh, whoa.
That's a whole new ball
Well,
game.
no famous person is rocking this, man.
Yeah.
Nobody's out there with
It's
this.
a
look,
whole
man.
new ball game, brother. Look at that guy.
How does it stay like that?
I mean, there's a lot of products that go involved
There's
into it.
trombones? What is that? What the heck?
I mean,
Yeah.
these guys are very, very serious about their beards and
Look at
mustaches.
that.
Look at that.
That is. Oh, look, the guy got the hair. The comb over going with the beard. That's impressive.
I mean, it was great during COVID, man. My beard was so long, I could just flip it up over my face instead of having a mask.
Man-made, self-made mask.
Sir, you need to have a mask in here. Hold on 1 second.
1 second. You got some tape.
It just
got-
like
you
a
got-
string like this.
You got some scotch you can use real quick. I'll be in and out in 2 seconds. Dang it. Mustache and beard. I'm about to look into this. That's commitment right there, man.
Yeah,
It's
it is.
commitment. What was your longest in your heyday? The beard. How long did it go down?
Man, it was chest length.
Dang.
Yeah, down to there. But I keep it a lot shorter now.
Yeah, I used to have a lot longer when I was in colder climates.
But my
hard.
but my
It's hard
beard
to hear.
is thick.
Yeah.
It's not like, I mean, it's
It's not stringy like ZZ Tops, is what you're saying.
No. I got
You
a
got
lot
some
of
depth.
lot of
You
depth.
got depth.
A lot of depth. You know what I'm
That
saying?
beard, seeing things.
It's very important to have depth when the
Yeah.
beard game.
I think depth adds a lot. Definitely adds a lot. I should have done this with resellers. We should do next time you come on. We'll do it with resellers. Rank 5 reseller beards blindly. We're gonna do that.
There's a
I'll-
lot.
I'll give you froggy flips.
A lot of people. I've been mistakenly identified as him before.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. Shad Juice posted on his Instagram. People think he's Jelly Roll one time now. When you see him, because he got the same beard and stuff too.
Oh
Like it's
my
like, yo,
gosh.
is that Jelly Roll? All right. So again, to repeat, your top 5 is Mr. T number 1, Santa number 2, Abe Lincoln number 3, ZZ Top 4, and James Harden 5. That's Tim's blind ranking, and he is not happy with that list. I guess people are aware. People are aware. Before we sign off, a lot of people know where they can find you on. I know it's going to be a big list.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Here we go. So, I am on Instagram. We'll start with Instagram. Okay.
Oh boy.
Over the years, eBay. Over the years, collecting. Over the years, sports. Okay. We'll split those 3 for Instagram. Okay. On YouTube, you can find me at Over the Years, Reseller Information Network, Authentic in the Beard is my football channel, and Over the Years Sports on YouTube also. Okay.
There you go.
On Twitter, you can find me at Tim Walk on Water 2.
Tim Walk on Water. Wait, somebody had Tim Walk on Water
I
already?
had Tim Walk on Water, and then I forgot my password after like 6 years, and I got back onto Twitter, and I couldn't retrieve it because the email that it was linked to didn't exist anymore. So I just had to be Tim Walk on Water 2. Okay. and then on
that.
TikTok, you can find me at Over the Years. And then on Whatnot, you can find me at Over the Years, and Facebook Over the Years, Reseller Information Network, and yeah, I think I nailed it. Right? Am I
that's a
missing
lot.
anything?
So Over the Years on YouTube, video every Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
That's the plan right now. Yes, sir.
Reselling Information Network. Tim is live every Tuesday.
Yep.
Do you guys
We
does
drop
the video
a pre-recorded
every
video
Friday?
every Friday.
Yeah. Okay.
And then
No.
I'm working on the schedule for Over the Years Sports, getting that channel back up, which is probably going to be a Tuesday and Thursday video. That way I can transition that crowd to Authentic in the Beard, which is my football podcast, which is live every Tuesday and Thursday night at 7, and then Sunday mornings at 11 o'clock in the morning.
Dang. Busy man. Football season's here. You're gonna be a busy man.
Yeah.
All right. Before you head out, how many games Notre Dame gonna win this year?
Undefeated national championship.
Okay. Whatever you say. All right, man. Appreciate you coming on. This
Thank
is
you,
a
man.
blast.
This is a long time coming. Like I said, I can't wait for part 2.
Oh, part 2's coming. Part
Big
2's
shout
coming.
out! Big shout out to my guy, man, Paul Philip Flipper, one of the best dudes out here. I love you, brother. I appreciate you.